Oh, we'll do it in between the Q&A. And also, I switched to the scene already. So, hi, hello, everybody. No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. Hi, chat. It's me. It's Laughing Boy LP. I'm here with Orange is Borange, Aki. My first question for you is, what is the preferred? Like, I should have asked like a lot sooner, but every time I did social media, I was like, do I just say Aki Orange? Do I say Orange is Borange?
Because it's like including lore stupidity that no one really cares about. Um, oh, they cannot hear me.
I just fixed it.
Oh, okay, okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, so Orange is the username.
Yeah.
Orange is the brand. The character's name is Aki Mikan, but I refer to
Oh.
myself as Aki and then add orange because if I don't, it pulls up a completely different VTuber that is also named Aki. And if I don't add orange to it, it just does not know who I am. And I love Google search engine optimization. It's great. So it's either I leave Aki Orange or I just use Orange is Borange as the full username. But the problem with that is my username is 15 characters and every social media site only allows 12 characters for a name. So I can't even do that. So now you understand the confusion because people are like, do I call you Aki or do I call you Orange is Orange? And I'm just like, just call me either one. I've
It's
been
like
called multiple things. So like
if we're doing a collab, it's just easier to call you Aki, but then, yeah, when it comes to, like, the social media part, I'm just kind of like, "What do I write on the picture?" So
yeah.
I was just like, "Whatever it says on her
Yeah.
blue sky, just do that."
Yep. Orangeisborange.com or Orange Aki or whatever, that is totally fine. It
Okay.
just branding wise, it's just like really confusing because I can't put the full 15 characters in a name, even though like I've seen people who have 15 characters in their name and it works perfectly fine. Like a long time ago, when Twitter was not bad,
Mm.
Markiplier had his full name and handle as the username, but
Oh,
now it's
yeah.
just Mark because apparently they told him no or something. I don't know. Yeah.
At least they're not
Yeah.
trying to push, Google Circle or whatever it was. Remember that? Or
Yeah, I
Google Plus.
remember Google Circles and Google Plus. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I remember Plus communities a long time ago, and I was part of a Zelda one, which is really funny because I was looking at your stuff and I found like some of the Zelda universe stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I used to work for uh over at Zelda Dungeon for a little
Oh,
while.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's
We were
really
literally on
interesting.
opposite neighborhoods.
We're literally like opposite neighborhoods, like doing our own thing, and I was like, wow, that's a long time ago.
Mhm.
Uh,
Is
I
that Orange? Is Aki? Is Borange? Is Mikon the Minecraft VTuber? I could do that.
no, don't. Don't encourage him. That's Bombite. He is a goober.
Okay. Goo Goober the Booper.
Goober the boober.
Um, well, hi. This is if you're new to this show, this is Good Luck Have Fun, but
Mhm.
the first like half-ish hour, I like to do a Q&A session,
Mhm.
and that was all submitted by the viewers. What I can do as well, let me see if I can bring this up real quick.
Mhm.
If anybody would like to ask a last minute question, you can do so right here. And I'll go ahead and pin that.
Mhm. I think the only unique thing about my username is that it is the same handle everywhere, and I have not had to put, like, VT or VTuber or underscore or anything. It is the same username for every platform I'm on, and
Hmm.
that helps a lot. Like, oh my god, that is so hard to do
Yeah.
nowadays. So, I am very, very happy about that.
I got fairly lucky that there weren't that many people trying to like push Laughing Boy, but the only
Mhm.
problem with my username is that if you don't add the LP to it, because I was thinking about removing it, is that
Mhm.
all Google searches are just like, "You mean a literal laughing child, right? I have pictures
Mhm.
of those." And I'm like, "Why do you have pictures of that?"
Why do you have
Um,
pictures of children? That's weird, Google. Why do you
why do you
have
have
that?
pictures of happy children? That's
Check
what
your check
upsets me.
your hard drive, bud.
Randy Pitchford wants to have a word with you.
Oh no.
Anyway, hi.
Anyways, nice segue.
I'm so good at this. Anyway, I have a couple of questions from some viewers that
Mhm.
responded to the form before the stream. You can go ahead if you'd like to ask any further questions. You can do that while we're here. We may be able to get to those throughout
Mhm.
this little segment here. But first off, I my first question is from CJ, who asks, from a
Mm.
content creation perspective, do you prefer playing a variety of different games each stream or doing a full playthrough of a game before starting another one?
Oh boy, I've heard this like opinion so many
Mhm.
times is that, oh, you have to stick to one game and finish it all the way through before you start the next one. No, that is actually really really bad. Do not do that. I always tell people that if they're going to start a stream schedule, which by the way you should do this, it's consistency, it helps a lot. Pick 4 or 3 games and just play those for however long you want for that week or the next 2 weeks, and then swap it up. And you keep doing that. If you're going to be a variety content creator, you're going to have to play different mediums of games. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck doing the same thing over and over. Now, granted, you can have your niche. I think everyone should start with a niche.
Mhm.
It helps kind of gravitate how you want to do things. For instance, my niche was speedrunning. I played Luigi's Mansion for 6 months before I swapped to anything else. And I was getting pretty good record times. I didn't get anywhere close to world record or anything, but I got some pretty decent times. And then I branched out into speedrunning other games, and then that turned into okay. Chat wants me to play games, just play the game normally. I think one of the games that my chat voted on was if we got a certain amount of followers, we would play Kingdom Hearts 1 because I had said that I never played it.
Mhm.
And then I played that, and then people just kind of just flocked in, just wanting to chill. And the thing that I realized about it is as long as I like to treat live streams as like a live let's play. Like if you treat it like that and you just keep your commentary going with it, that's a big thing that people struggle on is learning to talk and make commentary even though no one's there.
Ugh.
That is
It's like the number one thing that everyone tells you to do, and it is the most difficult thing.
it is a very very difficult thing. So I've always treated live streaming as if I was doing a let's play of some kind on stream, and then if someone happened to join in, then I just chime with them and try to make commentary with them, try to ask them questions, they ask me questions, we talk back and forth. But for content creation, if you're going to be a variety content creator, you really need to play a multitude of different games each month. I would not stick to just one game at a time. um pick like pick like 2 or 3 games that you want to clear that month, and then just mix and match them each day and be like, "Hey, this is the game that I want to play this day." And if it doesn't work out, swap to another game. Like if you're not feeling that game, do not force yourself to play it, cuz that is a big downfall that a lot of people do is they're like, "New game come out, I have to play it because everyone else is play that." That's another thing I could talk about later.
Oh
Uh
god, yes.
but like I would also argue this, that if it's a game that you really really care about and it's something that you want to play, don't immediately buy it just to make content off of it. Buy it because you actually want to play it. Because there are a lot of people that just buy games, they make content, and they'll never touch it again. That can get very, I guess, boring for some people. I think one of the big games that I've been doing this year and last year, um, Ocarina of Time randomizers.
Hmm.
That is a lot of fun to do. That is like, and you could do it anytime because it's just like a imagine like just chatting, but with just a game in the background. And that's it.
Mm.
Like really. Like you're just talking to people as you play the game because you don't have to do story. You don't have it it's almost like the games that run through like roguelikes are very easy to generate commentary on because you can talk about anything. But there's like always this uptime downtime factor when it comes to games. So, there's always going to be a part where you're focusing on the game, then you have to focus on chat and back and forth. So, hopefully that
Yeah.
answered that question. That's a little bit elaborate.
Well,
I want to be more specific on things. So,
yeah, I mean, it's also like thinking about it on my own like terms. How I've been streaming is I
Mhm.
try to, for the most part, finish whatever game I'm playing. There's only been a couple of times where I have just completely given up on a game because like
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling it. And I think the worst part is if you hang on to a game like a story-based game for so long, you do
Hmm.
kind of see the trickling out,
Yeah.
and over time you get fewer and fewer viewers the longer
Hmm.
you play a certain game, if it's not like a forever type game. So like if you're playing DK Bonanza, by stream 12, if you're still playing it,
Oh my
depending on
God.
how you
I hope
stream.
you're playing it by stream 12. That's a lot of
uh like I only play it once a week, so I'm probably on
mhm.
stream 8, but I'm definitely like behind. Tomorrow is going to be the finale,
Mm.
but if you've played a game for so long, you start to see like a trickling out because people
I
kind of
mean,
lose interest.
that comes down to also how long you stream.
Yeah.
I would say that if streaming is your main source of platform, you should be streaming anywhere between 4 and 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is definitely a game that should be out like start at the beginning of the month, should be done towards the end of the month. So if you're only doing one day for that game, then you're spending like maybe about 4 hours on it because I always do a 1 hour just chatting at the beginning.
Yep.
Then you're probably finishing it towards the end because most games, especially Nintendo games, they're like 20, 30 hours.
Yeah.
So they kind of phase out within a month. Yeah, and
I
that's
yeah,
usually when the hype ends for it too.
exactly. And I think
Yep.
too it's like I I very carefully have to pick games that I know are
Mhm.
not going to take either like 60 hours. I kind of
Yeah.
feel like if I'm going to stream a game, I am perfectly capable of like talking through a game that's kind of like story based because there's a lot you
Mhm.
can talk about, either the atmosphere or like notes that are left
See,
behind.
I know this one creator. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I do know a creator that focused immediately into just doing RPGs. They
Yeah.
they love JRPGs and they struggled a lot trying to get out of just the hole that is just I play long story form games. Not a lot of people want to engage with it. I will get like some people who are just a fan of that game, but they will not come for any other games. Like I
Oh
had
yeah.
people when I played Final Fantasy VII. I knew there was going to be a lot of people that would show up for Final Fantasy VII, but the moment I stopped playing it, there's going to be some people that will leave. Here's how they fix that actually. So JRPG is only a small divot of the huge genre that is role playing. So what they did was they started doing magic. They started doing D&D. They started branching out of that hole, but it still has the same vibe. Like you're
Hmm.
still doing turns, you're still making characters, you're still doing spells or actions or rolling a die of some kind. Like there's something there that still has a role playing aspect than just only playing exclusively JRPG. And that helped them a lot. Like they did that for a whole year and they finally got a brand deal. Like
Oh
that
damn.
is incredible.
Hell
Yeah, no,
yeah.
they blew up and I was very proud of them. But like it's stuff like that where if you could start with a niche, but I would suggest that you branch out of your niche, making a theme and going with it.
Yeah.
Like one of the big things that I'm doing this year for November. November, I usually do a Zelda month, which I have myself modded into a bunch of Zelda games and I play them back to back. But this year, I'm mixing it up. I'm doing Pokemon.
Oh,
And Pokemon has been very interesting because I have gotten myself modded from Generation 1 to Generation 6. And Generation 5 and Generation 6 has never been done before for modding. Like the community is actually kind of going crazy there for it right now.
okay.
Me and a friend of mine over in the Pokemon 3DS modding community are going to make a video about it and be like, hey, this is something that's possible now. This is something that you can do now, which hasn't been done before. So that's like a huge thing. And then hopefully I can get through all of them in a month, but we'll see. I plan on like nuzlocking a lot of them. But the reason why it's going to probably take a little bit longer is I have not played Gen 4, 5, or 6.
Oh, like ever?
So never. I've never
Okay.
played Pokemon Platinum. I've never played Black or White, and I've definitely not played X. Well, I played a little bit of X and Y, and I was like, wow, this game's easy as fuck. Anyway, um, and the reason why I said that was because I just came off of playing Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness, which has been the hardest Pokemon game I've played.
I've heard things about. I have not played either of the GameCube RPGs.
They are
Um,
hard. They are like so they're exclusively all double battles.
oh
And
yeah.
the only way to get new Pokemon is by capturing shadow Pokemon. And if you faint them, you don't get them. In one of them, you don't get them back until post game. And the second one, you don't get them until halfway through the game. So like you can screw yourself over a period of time. That's really
Well,
hard. Yeah. It's very, very hard.
um,
Interesting concept though, but yeah.
yeah. I don't want to. I like to keep this conversation going, but I do have more questions,
Oh,
if you don't
okay,
mind.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
So Jatazo is asking, in the time I've known you, you've changed your visual presentation and model a couple of times now for a variety of reasons. Are there any specific aspects or details from your previous looks that you miss or wish you could bring back?
So not exactly, because every model or every like art change that I've done has always been adding something to it. So my initial model right now is actually just it's like the 3.0, 4.0 of my models. I've had like several different live 2Ds and different kinds of like artistic like changes to it.
Hmm.
But one of the things that I will say is that nothing has really changed a lot in comparison to like the original models. I mean, like the very first model I had, I definitely didn't have like the little leaf on my head, or like the hoodie wasn't as low. Um, the hair ties didn't have like the little things that jiggle next to it. Um, like it just adding more details to it over a period of time. And I think like I don't know, like it really depends because like if you really look at it from a progression kind of thing, it just kind of just shows like think of it like Mario, for example, right? Like
Hmm.
when Mario had his first debut on Donkey Kong, right? Like his entire artistic design changed a little bit from that to Mario Bros, but essentially they are still the same at their core. Still has a mustache, still wears, overalls, still has a hat, those sorts of things.
Right.
So I think at the core, it's still the same and just adding more details. So do I miss it? How do I miss something that's still in my design? I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. Yeah. So I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. No, that works. I think like it's very important. It's you're making the comparison of Mario, and like Mario just like morphed so much in like 5 years.
Mario morphed a lot in the NES and Super Nintendo era, and I don't think his design was finalized until like Mario World. Like
Yeah.
Mario World is where I forget what artist it was, but the person who did the art for Mario Bros. 3 and Mario World
Hmm.
really, really finalized what Mario should look like.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think his design overall changed a little bit into the 3D era, but then when they got to the Wii, it was pretty much final. It was like that is Mario, that is what he looks like.
Yeah.
And even now we're seeing like some graphical updates. I mean, like look at the Mario Odyssey renders. Like he's got like you can see every thread of his hair.
He's
You
got
could
like
see
real
like
hair.
stitching on his hat. Like
I miss the clay hair.
Yeah, I miss when he looked like a Roblox character, like, like, it's a very distinct difference in artistic direction, but I would say that at its core, it's still the same character. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if we were saying like Link from Zelda, oh, that's different. Like that's an iteration all on its own. Like there's different versions of Link. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
have to argue that first. But at their core, they all wear a green tunic. They all wear a green hat. Well, except Breath of the Wild, we don't talk about that. Um,
It's there
it's there,
eventually.
optional.
Yeah.
Kind of. We
Yeah.
like blue now.
I have to assume they did it so he would stand out from like the miles of grass. I There has to be some reason
That
for the
was in the
blue.
interview. That was in the interview process that they gave him a different new outfit because if they wore green exclusively, he would blend into the background. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But why though?
I don't know.
Gecko Geek asks, "Are there any games you enjoyed playing originally but disliked on the replay or vice versa?"
Ooh, I like initially, but then played on the replay. I'm going to assume replaying on stream because usually when I replay a game, I'm just kind of like quiet and just chilling and doing whatever. Uh,
It's a very
replay.
specific vibe when you play a game for
Yeah,
stream versus for yourself. I think that like changes how you
I
view a
think
game.
I think the only game I get kind of bored of replaying and like I mean like replaying on original hardware or replaying in general is definitely Ocarina of Time. I think like I love the story and I love the characters and everything, but I've played it so many times that it's just a blur and I'm
Yeah.
just like I already know this. Like there's no oh my god, Sheikah Zelda, that's crazy. Like that's never gonna like that's not gonna surprise me anymore.
That'll never
But
happen again.
I will say this though, um, replaying a game, I always learn something new from the game. It was something that I take back from Majora's Mask and other games like Xenoblade Chronicles and Earthbound. Is that every time I play them, I come out learning something new and something and a new thing that I liked about it. Um, alongside a new thing I dislike about them as well. So it's like compare and contrastion kind of thing. And I don't know. I think Ocarina of Time is probably the one that it's not that I dislike, it's just kind of like I've
But
been through
it's just
this
like you've
already.
played it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I play Ocarina of Time rando, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I learn more things from that. Like, I don't know. Now,
I think
Majora's Mask, I could play like multiple times over and over again. I would still have the same feelings that I have. You know, I think that's because that's biased though, because I like that game a lot.
Have you ever had like the opposite where you didn't enjoy playing it like the first time? Which I'm kind of like, if I really didn't enjoy a game, I don't know if I
Mm.
would play it again.
It so funny enough, I had that experience with Final Fantasy VII.
Really?
I played Final Fantasy VII when I first moved in with Otaku Reborn, and we played it up until the first disc, like all the way through. I was just like, ah, Aerith got stabbed. Haha, that's funny. And then that was it. And then I was just like, I don't think I want to touch anything else because like the first disc is like a good majority of the game. Like
Yeah.
disc two is like 3 dungeons, and the disc one and disc three is like the last dungeon, and that's it. So like
Fair.
disc one is like a good majority of content, and I'm like, okay, I've had my fill. I don't think I need any more of this. It was only until this year that I actually played it, and there was a nice mod that put voice acting in the original game, as well as like updating the graphics and making it look like a more like it basically felt like a true remake of the original game.
Yeah.
And I played that and I had a blast with it. I think it was the most fun I've had with the JRPG in a long time because one, the voice acting was very reminiscent of the 90s era where there were just little like blurps in there that was just so silly and dumb. And I was like, I can't believe they read this off in a script. like they left it's the Steam version of Final Fantasy 7, but they left in like all of the typos in it and they voice acted the typos. So Aerith came out of the hole when she goes, this
This
man are
guy are
sick. And I'm
sick?
like, why did you leave that in there? That's funny.
God, I
So
love that.
it was a big labor of love, and I could tell that, like, even though my first time playing Final Fantasy 7, it's still something that I wanted to play because one of the things that I have been trying to do is there are some games of my birth year that I wanted to play, and that was one of them.
Oh,
And playing that has been fun. Like, I've been slowly collecting things around that era. Like 1997 is like, okay, let's see what games are in that year. Let's see what music was like in that year. Let's see what photography was like. I just want to know what it was
yeah.
like.
No,
And
I'm very much the same way.
it's been really fun, like, kind of exploring that.
Yeah, it's really interesting to, like, go back and explore the year that you were a child as an adult because it's such a different experience. Like,
Hmm.
all of these TV shows and movies and pieces of media that, like, as a kid, I totally missed because I was 3 when Nirvana was a
I
thing.
was
Like, I didn't know what that
3.
was.
Yeah.
But, like, going back and just, like, experiencing it as an adult, it's like, wow, the '90s is
Mhm.
just for me, is like the '90s are very different for an adult than they were for me as a kid that just liked Rugrats and that was it.
I mean, like, hairstyles, like clothing, like
Yeah.
everything is really different. Like, I've been talking to a couple people, but like, man, did you guys know what an MP3 player and a CD player was? Like, these
Alright.
things are sick. No, I'm not. Like, I literally like wanted to get one, and then someone was like, "Why do you want this?" I'm like, "Because it's cool." Okay, like, you don't understand me. I'm thinking about getting a vinyl player now recently. So,
We finally, bought
mhm.
one, like, a little while ago,
Yeah, I
so
the reason why I want one is because a lot of the Zelda soundtracks have been put on vinyl, like,
yeah.
officially, and I'm just like, "Oh, I need to have these." Like, this would be really cool.
I like how Zoomers are bringing back MP3 players, but, like, we went to iPod because, like, MP3 players were just so wild before
Mhm.
iPod, like, created the standard.
Yep, and then
Um,
they died. The
yeah,
iPod doesn't exist because you could
I
just put it
know.
on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it all on your phone now. Now
Which I
it's
don't use my phone for that.
Blem asks, "What obscure horror game do you wanna be put into the most?"
Oh god. Obscure horror game that I would want to be modded
There's
into.
literally a horror game called Obscure.
There is, you're correct. Uh, this one wouldn't work too well because it's first person, and a lot of horror games are first person. But if I were to make a third person mod for Amnesia,
Oh.
that would be sick. Like, I think that would be really cool. But, like, Amnesia is, like, mostly first person, and it would lose a lot of feel if it was third person,
Yep.
so I had to think of another game. I guess Dead Space. I think Dead Space would be really cool.
Mm,
I played a little bit of it. I didn't finish it, but I think Dead Space would be kinda sick to be modded into. Any of the Resident Evils, obviously, but those aren't, like, obscure is the problem.
yeah, I
Uh
do
You know
like
what?
the
I'll go indie. Let's do Crow Country.
Ooh, yeah.
Crow
Dude, Crow
Country.
Country was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I just read chat. Someone said yick. Eh.
yeek. I mean, yeah, I was a big fan of Crow Country. I streamed that last year and oh, yeek is
Mhm.
horror, okay.
Yeek is not horror. Y2K, a postmodern RPG, is not a horror game.
Oh, oh my god, wait. That's what that was?
Yes, that's what Y2K means. Y2K, a
Okay.
postmodern RPG. I played that a couple times. I'm sick of it.
Going back to our last question.
Sure.
All right. I like this one from Corpse Launcher. They're
Mhm.
asking, how do you feel about being an inspiration to others, like people starting to stream or make mods and whatnot?
Hmm. So it's very weird when people say like, "Oh, you inspire me," or "You do these things," and I'm just like, "I'm just being myself, bro. I don't know what I if I can inspire people to make content and like inspire them to do things creatively without like, them faltering or anything like that. They just want to make something and get it out there and just have fun. Then I've done my job essentially because
Yeah.
that's what I want to do is as a content creator is always to inspire. And even if I'm like only inspiring like two or three people, then it's like, okay, I still did my job. I still got someone to make something. Like a couple of my friends I've been talking to, they're like, "Oh man, I suddenly just started getting back into content creation because of you." And I'm just like, "What? Why? Why does it need to be me that got you back into it? You should just do it on your own." They're like, "No, no, no, because you got me to like actually make stuff." And like I think if I can do that for someone and like it makes them happy, then like I'm doing something right in the world.
Yeah.
Um, as somebody who has also been in like a very, very dark place, um, and coming out on top of it because of other people also inspiring me to make things. I mean, like I think of two people that come to mind, and one of them is Vinny Vinesauce. I don't know how that man does it. He just he just makes me giggle, and I like that. And then the other person is one of my best friends, Yomi Quinley, who I think about very fondly. She was
Mm.
on Fox News today. She was on the news talking about VTubing, and I was
Oh, I
like,
was
"That's crazy."
4K? Like
Yeah,
what?
yeah. No, she was on the local network in Detroit, and they just randomly started talking about VTubing because there was a con there,
Ah,
and she
okay.
was there with one of her mates. Yeah, it was really really cool.
Yeah.
But I think of those two in particular to the stuff that they do, and I just want to keep creating, even if like if for whatever reason the internet is dead theory happens and like no one's alive and everyone like it's a wasteland. I'm still gonna be making something, and someone will probably pick it up 1,000 years from now and be like, "Oh yes, humans were anime characters
We don't know how
back
they
in the
did
day."
it.
Yeah, we don't know how they did it, but we did it.
Oh, yeah. It's called The
hmm
Matrix.
I think I'm
Um,
too young to know what that is.
it's
No,
okay.
Matrix.
My lower
I
back
know what the
suddenly
Matrix
hurts.
is.
It's fine. It's
I know what the
okay.
Matrix is. I saw
Let's
that in Conker's Bad for a Day.
I only know what that is because of Conquer.
That's only why I know what it is.
I'm surprised they
Uh,
didn't even make like an Austin Powers reference in that game because that was like
I
everybody was doing that.
I'm surprised they didn't do Weird Al or Austin Powers like at all in that whole game. Like
It's
there's so
funny
much in there.
because like Weird Al was like that thing, but he was like that artist that if you were a nerd, you knew about him, but he was not like mainstream. The most mainstream he ever got, I think, was when White and Nerdy came out.
White and nerdy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like the most mainstream I think he ever got because like
Mhm.
everybody knew that song.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, like a lot of references to a lot of references in Conker's Bad Fur Day are anywhere between the 80s and 90s. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, Weird Al should have made it in there. Like
yeah.
I don't know. The Matrix is definitely one of the funniest things, especially with it like happening like towards the end with the alien part, because it's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, here we go. Give me a katana. Just stab him.
I need to like a part of me needs to play that game, but I also
Mhm.
know that that's a game that is possibly going to hurt me. And so I need to be like
Physically or
mentally prepared
mentally?
mentally. Cuz like
Mentally, yeah.
I play through Banjo Kazooie and I was like, "Wow, this is really good. I had a great time. What's Banjo Tooie like?" And I was miserable.
I
And
It's
so
funny you say
I'm
that.
huh?
It's funny you say that because I had the exact opposite.
Well, I didn't get to cheat. Not saying you did, but like when I talked to Josh about it, he was just like, "Oh yeah, no, the game's like way more fun when you just put in the cheat codes, but you can't do it because you're playing the Xbox version." I'm like, the fact that I have to cheat to enjoy the game.
So,
Um,
like, it's not even that. I played Banjo-Kazooie on the N64 version. I didn't know what the cheats were, and also, I played the game Claude my first 4 times playing it. So, here's the reason.
okay,
I thought that the abilities that you had to do, like, where you talon trot, all of that
yeah,
other stuff, I thought you had to hold the C buttons down the entire time with the Z button. So I'm holding the controller with my analog, my finger, my pointer finger, and my thumb on the top of the C buttons, holding the C buttons down with the Z button, and I'm playing it the entire time like that 3 times in a row. It was only on the third time when I was learning the speed run of it that I quietly say, like, I don't know how kids in the 90s played this dog shit game. Every fucking time I play this game, my hands hurt. And my friend who was in the call with me, they're like, how are you holding the controller? Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm clawing it. I'm like, why are you clawing it? I'm like, you have to hold the buttons down. They're like, no, you don't. Just press it and hit the Z button. I'm like, oh,
Oh
oh
no.
my God. Oh my God. And the only reason why I thought you had to hold the C buttons down is because Bottles doesn't say specifically, "Oh, hold them down," or anything. It just says,
Yeah.
"This plus this to do this." And I'm like, "Okay, so that makes sense, hold the button down."
Yeah.
Because it's
I
an old N64 game, and 9 times out of 10, you hold things a lot of the time. So I'm like, "Okay."
I
So,
guess there's a part of me that's almost surprised that you just kept up holding every single combination, because at some point, wouldn't you have just, like, let go and then they're still in Talon Trot and you're like, "Oh,
no, I didn't think of that.
you
I
stayed
didn't think of that
strong and
at
I'm proud
all.
of you."
My hands hurt, and I was like, oh, I was like in a couple of streams, like I was like, all right, I can't play the game like this. I need to take a break. Like my hands are like, actually hurting, so I would swap to a different game. Um, I did almost beat it. I did not beat Banjo Kazooie. I got to Gruntilda, and I tried to fight her with like only 5 health, and that was miserable. Then I played Banjo Tooie, and I was like, "Oh wow, I have a ledge grab. This game is so much better."
Yeah, I think there were just things about Banjo-Tooie that, like, as me as a completionist, it didn't vibe with me, where I was just like, "What do you mean I have to
Oh,
come back?" And it started becoming
yeah,
a
no,
running
that'll do
gag where I'm
it.
like, "I can't get this jiggy. Oh, I have to come back for it." And I think it was, like, the fact that I couldn't tell the difference was what just, like, kinda soured the experience. I think maybe if I
Mm,
went back to it, now that I know, I could probably enjoy it a little more. I
mhm,
will say I
mhm.
enjoyed the crap out of Nuts and Bolts, though.
Nuts and Bolts is a underrated masterpiece, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
I think Nuts and Bolts is genuinely a good game, and a lot of people are just upset because it's not Banjo 3.
yeah.
That is the only reason why. In fact, I like to say that Nuts and Bolts is Nuts and Bolts is the precursor to Tears of the Kingdom, because Tears of the Kingdom has so many mechanics that are just like it. And I'm just like, wow,
It's true, though. I
full
mean,
full circle, huh?
well, it's like, yeah, it once you've played Tears of the Kingdom, if anybody who played Tears of the Kingdom never played Nuts and Bolts, like, goes into Nuts and Bolts, they have that, like, context of Tears of the Kingdom,
Yep.
they might be able to just pick up and play that almost immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just fun, just, like,
Hmm.
it's a game that you can just sit down with your friends or even by yourself and just kind of, like, putz around, like, just
I mean,
do
like
whatever.
another game that's like almost similar to it is Mod Nation Racers. Like that's also
Yes! I
pretty good.
loved Mod Nation Racers.
And I also like think of that as like Mario Kart, but if it had like Mario Maker attached to
Yes.
it, and that was really cool. And then they killed it, and I'm like, guys, this is
Ah,
like the most innovative thing that you've done like in the past like 10 years. Come on now.
it is
Ugh.
sincerely one of my favorite, like, racers. It's easily in my top 3, if not 5. And
Hmm.
I even bought Mod Nation Racers for the Vita. I liked the PS3 version so much.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
the
no, it was
track
great.
builder was good there too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah,
I have one last question, then we'll take a break, and then we'll before we
sure.
get into the podcast. Um, FX Tex, I hope I said that correctly.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. He asks, "What tip would you give to someone who wants to start streaming?" I know you kind of already did that
Mm,
for the first
mhm.
question, but is there anything else?
Um, don't overthink a lot of stuff. Just have fun. Like a lot of people, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately because it makes sense that a lot of people want to monetize their work. They want to work on stuff. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I would say don't ever go into streaming or content creation with the plan or the idea of making money off of it immediately, because a lot of people unfortunately try to start streaming and they've never streamed before. And they like, okay, I've invested into a good microphone, a good PC setup, a VTuber model, or all these other things. And I'm just like, I'm going to strongly say this. You should practice streaming for like a month or two before you even put any sort of investment and before buying out a good microphone
Yeah.
or getting a new GPU or anything like that, because these sorts of things will take time. Like you're going to be streaming for a significant amount of time before you see any sort of growth. And if you're not like putting this out on other platforms, if you're not building up and diversifying your content, that's going to even take even longer. Like I took the hard route. I did speedrunning for Luigi's Mansion for 6 months. I didn't do anything on Twitter. I didn't do anything on Instagram. I didn't have anything. The only thing I had was YouTube and Twitch. And the most I did, and Jadazo knows this to be truth, he's one of my editors. I had him do shorts on YouTube, and that was it. Nothing else. No social media branding whatsoever. I didn't even open up a Discord until I did Kingdom Hearts. So, like, I would say it was simpler times, but at the same time, I would say if you're gonna go at it with the intent of monetization, you should absolutely learn marketing. Like, definitely take a marketing class. Like, there's very small marketing classes you can take at online colleges for like I think starting it's like $650 for a whole semester, which is like 4 months.
Mhm.
You could take a marketing class, and you don't even have to pass or fail it. Just take it. Like, just get the information, because it will help you significantly. Because I will say for like character design, if you're going to be a VTuber, you need to have a good silhouette and you need to have a good design. You also need to, again, know how to commentate. Like, these are all factors that play into this. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big, big thing. Like, I would say that stuff has changed significantly since like 10 years ago, because I feel like marketing and like collaborations and getting to know people was easier 10 years ago than it is now. um I
Yeah.
think people were a lot more trusting and willing to like build connections and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays I think people already have their inner circles, and they're like, that person's a cloud chaser. That person just wants to use me. Like,
I'm scared to open like certain
Yeah.
marketing emails because I feel like they're all scams.
Yeah, that too. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I think it's a scary world out there now, and a lot of people are just kind of like iffy, and like
Mhm.
that's okay. It happens. There's a lot of people, like, there is a ongoing joke that a lot of people in the VTuber community are very I guess the word is that they are chaotic and very all over the place, and sometimes we're like, like we're,
Yeah.
like. And then I would also say that some of us are we have like this energy tank where we'll do all of our energy into a stream, and then we go into our like little introverted hole, and we don't want to talk to anybody like ever again for like
Yeah.
a week.
Oh,
So it's
that's
like
me.
that. Yeah. So all in all, I would say that if you're gonna start streaming, because I just said a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
if you're gonna start streaming, just start out for fun. Just download OBS, make a couple things where you have like your chat on the screen, and if you're an artist, which EFX Text is, you don't even have to do something crazy. You just like put up your art streams and just talk when people come in and just like vibe, like it.
Mhm.
If anything, I think recording your process like as an artist is really, really good for you mentally, because you can look back a year from now and you'll see how much you've improved, like
Yeah, I think
visually. Yeah.
never be afraid to like look at your highlights or your VODs.
Hmm.
Like, just watch it and observe and think
Yep.
about like the content creator that you enjoy watching that you're trying to make similar content to,
Hmm.
and compare and contrast. Like, not to make yourself like feel worse than
Hmm.
like, oh, I'm not as good as blah blah, but like you're not going to be the first time.
Nope.
And it took me a long time to kind of start to find comfort in what I was doing. And part of that is like going back, watching the VODs, making sure audio is all fine, and like just making it so like even if you have like an okay microphone, the
Hmm.
levels, just make sure the levels are good. Just like make the presentation as good as you can for the technology that you have. And that's like most of the work. And
A
then in
lot
my
of the
opinion.
other things you can do with microphones is that OBS is like such a it's like a good program and not a good program at the same time.
Yeah.
So like one of the things that I always stress to people is that there is a huge marketplace for OBS plugins, and a lot of them have really good audio tools.
Hmm.
Use them. They are
Yeah.
free. They are free. You can get your fine tuning. You can adjust things. Do practice recordings. Like I would even just like you write like a small paragraph, read it out, and just practice the audio on your test to make sure
Yep.
that it's very clear. Um, there's a lot of things that you can do to I mean, like, you can pad out your room with, like, audio foam and stuff like that if you really need to, but I will stress that if you're not a we use this term in the VTubing space. If you're not an audiophile, then you're probably fine. Don't worry about it. Um,
Yeah.
I I would say just use whatever equipment you have and just go for it. Like, obviously, like, if your plans are to monetize, then later on you can just get an affiliate and you just be like, all right, well, now we can just move on and to build like community. And I think that's more important than like all the other things. Like, I think a lot of people have lost the vision a little bit when it comes to content creation, because my idea of content creation is I want to share things. I
Hmm.
just want to share things with the world. It doesn't have to be, oh, I get money for it or I get paid for it. I just want to share a thing that I made. And it could be even a meme like, oh, I shared a funny little video. Here, please laugh at it. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I care about.
Yeah. No, I think it's important, especially like as you start to realize like you're picking up speed on everything. Community is so important because that nurturing that is realistically how you grow.
Yep.
You're not going to see a lot of growth unless you start figuring out how to nurture that community, how to let that grow, because
Mhm.
they're going to be your champion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, like they're gonna be there. That it's gonna be like to pick you up when you fall down.
Yep.
They're gonna be there for you when you have like these events that you want to do. They're gonna be there for you when you want to make a project a reality. Like, these people, like it starts slow, and it
Yeah.
might, to some people it might not mean much at first, but it always grows into something bigger as long as you're consistent and as long as you keep doing these things.
Hmm.
And that's hard to do as a content creator. I think a lot of us start trying to be content creators with already another job, which
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that there's a key factor there. And one of the factors I would say is that there's a little bit of luck, there's a little bit of consistency, and a little bit of love and labor.
Hmm.
You have to have all those things, and if you don't have you could put a massive amount of effort into a lot of stuff, and you could be really good with your community, but sometimes the luck factor just doesn't come in, and that is
Hmm.
totally okay. Do not blame yourself for that, because the internet is a wild, wild place.
Yeah.
And some people, like, I'm gonna be real with you. um there are sometimes you can make one post and it doesn't go anywhere, and you make a post and it just blows up overnight, and suddenly you have this huge community all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It happens. It can happen to anybody. I've seen it happen.
It
Um
happened to you.
I, it happened with, okay, I'll tell you how I blew up on Twitter and social media. I made a Lethal Company joke and I never played the game. I never so it was basically an image of iCarly of Gibby smacking Spencer in the back of the head with a stop sign.
Hmm.
And the caption was we only have $5 more till quota. And the joke is that when you kill somebody, they're worth $5.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So I went from 1,000 followers on Twitter to 9,000 immediately overnight
Jesus. Yeah.
from that one joke, because I got like I think I got 56K likes on that one joke.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And it was during New Year's, so I think also that was a good time, because New Year's, a lot of people like filter out their following, and like they kind of just start following new people, so they probably saw
Mm,
it and it got recommended. Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's something I
And
didn't
then
like think about, but
and
yeah.
then ever since I've posted, I don't get that much engagement because they're like, "Oh god, it's a VTuber." But I made a lot of good friends because of that bit, so I'm okay with that.
Hell yeah. I love to see that. All right.
Mhm.
we got to take a quick break to set up audio for the actual podcast. This was the Q&A session that's
Hey,
exclusive to YouTube, so thank you for being here. By the
YouTube.
way, I don't know when
Mhm,
this came back. I wasn't able to do this for like months.
mhm.
But here's 5 free memberships. Here you go.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Yippee! 5
5
memberships.
memberships. There we go. All right, Marble Side, Wolf Boy, Zach Wood, Black Panther, and Garthon6. Enjoy your emotes. If you want
Mhm,
to join the
mhm,
Discord too, it's in the description. You get some extra
mhm,
special perks there. And then I have 5 more to give out at the end of the podcast.
mm,
So
mm,
stay
mm.
tuned. Maybe you'll get a little membership there. But let's go ahead and take a quick break. I'm gonna run an ad. I have no clue how this works with YouTube. I mean, I do. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the actual podcast in just a little bit. Hi, hello, everybody. That was the 12-second lead up, by the way. Just me like constantly being like, I hope this works. Um, sure. It's that's every single episode, but like it's finally kind of becoming a well-oiled machine. Hi, everybody. This is Laughing Boy LP. Welcome to our very first episode 7 of Good Luck, Have Fun, where we take the best parts of Let's Talk and Dialogue Box and we mangle it and mash it up into some kind of podcast of a more casual conversation with other content creators, talking about our lives, how we got into content creation, and, talk about video games because I think we like them.
Sometimes. There are sometimes when games are not fun, but, yeah,
Mhm.
for the most part, I do like games.
Yeah. Me too, and that's great because we're going to be talking to streamer. Would you call yourself a let's player?
Uh, I was gonna say
Aki Orange is here.
let's
Everybody,
player
everybody, hi.
let's player positive or let's play derogatory. I don't know.
And
Um,
filthy let's player.
Filthy let's player. No, sure. Yeah, I guess so.
But hi, how you doing?
Hi. I'm doing pretty good. I'm having a great time.
Hell yeah.
I
T-
wasn't just talking to you for 30 minutes a while ago.
Only the YouTubers get to know about that.
Oh, shall
That's all
we?
right. No, I literally tell everybody who listens to this, the audio only
Exclusive
version,
content.
get over to YouTube.
Exclusive content. Exclusive content.
Exclusive content.
Content diversity.
Mhm. I gotta give YouTube something, you know?
Yeah, they need something. They're
They're
starving. I get
so
it.
desperate.
So desperate.
Those poor please give us content.
Please give us
Please.
content. We don't
Please.
have Markiplier doesn't like us anymore.
Hey, he's playing Silent Hill F, I think.
It's true. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Fantastic game, by the way. That game was very, very cool. I watched the Boundary Break video of it,
Oh, yeah.
and I was amazed by all of the stuff that just was not in the base game. And I was like, are you serious? Like, they put this stuff here and then we don't get to see it for real? That sucks.
I mean, I'm actually I did have a rough stream last night playing it, but I
Mhm.
have been enjoying it. I think I agree with almost every review that talks about its combat, but I also find it intriguing. I just wish I was good at it.
Yeah, I would say that one of the things that really defeats Silent Hill F for me, and almost Silent Hill 2 Remake as well, is that
Mm,
they're very, very combat focused.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, not feeling that because that's not really the main theme of the series, but I understand that they're trying to make them more survival horror rather than just straight up horror, so I get it.
Yeah.
It definitely gives me more like when I was playing it, it gave me like RE5, RE6 kind of vibe almost,
Wait,
which
2
I was
remake
like,
or F or both?
Both, like, in terms of combat, I'm just like, okay, I walk down a hallway, gotta beat this thing, walk down another hallway, gotta kill these two things. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
I would say that for not Resident Evil, but Silent Hill 2 Remake, if you just want to experience the story and not do too much combat, there's no downfall from playing it on easy mode. It just makes the less spawns and less damage, and that's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting because we're doing combat on story mode for the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really, obviously, other than damage, the sanity meter becomes like interesting
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like playing it on normal or hard, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, because they're like story or hard, which one? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it defaults to hard, so I was just kind of like, okay.
They want you to play the new game plus. They want you to unlock the new game plus content if you play hard
Lost in the
mode.
Fog.
So yeah, Lost in the Fog and all that other stuff. Yep.
Yeah. I'll be interested in actually replaying both 2 Remake and F. Just I'm always inspired by watching speedruns of survival horror games because like
Mm-hmm.
watching the speedrun is so different because they're just like avoiding every possible combat situation,
Yep.
beast moding it, and it's very inspiring.
I mean, like, one of the things that I didn't know about Silent Hill 2 Remake that I've suddenly realized is that if you actually do a headshot on any of the enemies, it actually insta-kills them on normal mode. I did not know that. I'm like, oh, wow, skill base. Okay, cool.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. On some of the enemies in the early game, if you headshot them, they will instantly die with the gun. Don't know why. I just was like, oh, okay. But later down the line, that becomes not the case, which is a little weird. But you know, it makes sense. Like the nurses, you can't one shot. No, but that's fine. That doesn't bother me.
I think around that part, I was finally figuring out how to like maybe not fight everything I saw.
Yep. Yeah. I for my playthrough, because like I've played Silent Hill 2 before. I just kind of like just been testing around with Silent Hill 2 Remake, but also since I modded into that game, I kind of just was like, all right, I'm just gonna beat everything up. I think it would be funny. So
I mean,
yeah.
like your model versus like James's model. I remember seeing maybe like the first or second stream of you playing through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
it's really uncanny. It's
huge,
funny.
like compared to
massive.
everything else. I was like,
It looks like a mascot outfit. Yeah, it's really silly. But like the cutscenes are like it's not uncanny valley. It just looks like, oh god, there's an anime woman in this game. Oh,
it's like the meme of just like when you get to create your own outfit and they just use the in-game graphics for each cutscene.
When you use your own in-game avatar MC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Wow, James, you sure screwed everything up. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about your career. We'll talk more about horror games because it's October.
I mean, to
Woo!
be fair, someone in my chat said you should mod the metal pipe that you're using as a weapon to a pillow, and I'm like, that's messed up.
That's pretty good though.
That's really funny, but that's really messed up.
There's a lot of rocks in this
yeah, and the
sack.
pillow. Yeah.
Or it should be what if it was a body pillow? That'd be really good.
Oh, a Dakimara? That'd be really funny.
But yeah, let's we've talked a little bit about it during the Q&A session. But I kind of wanted to I'm getting to know you. This is a cheat. Here's the thing about podcasting, other content creators. This is just a cheat to just let me get to know people and interact with people that I've never like truly met. And you and I have done a couple of collabs on twitch.tv. It's
one
Christian name. Only one?
Only one.
Why did I think it was two?
I've done a collab with you with Peak, and that's it.
What? Oh, my memory's not that good. But anyway, we've done a collab. We played Peak.
A collab.
A collab. Un collab. And but like I wanted to take this opportunity to get to know you better. You know? And then hopefully my community will get to know you better. Maybe even your community will get to know you better. You never know. But
maybe.
But I wanted to
they already
ask,
know I'm crazy, so like, yeah, that.
But now we're gonna get into the why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a licensed therapist. Also, I gotta cover this up. Not a sponsor. I
They
don't want
can't
them to
see
sponsor me
that.
either. Yeah,
They
I
can't
need a
see it.
mosaic for my coffee. Um, so I kind of want to know, like, when did you get started into content creation? What did that look like for you? What was the inspiration for it? Like, let's go
Oh
back.
god.
Let's go back to the
Oh
beginning. What was that
god.
like for you?
Okay. Well, I was in middle school at the time when I started watching a lot of like YouTubers, and I was like kind of started to get like inspired by making it. Like one of the first things I wanted to do was a pot, like a vlog. I didn't know Steven George at the time when I was trying to do this, but I did watch a lot of Casey Neistat.
Hmm.
And I loved how he did the vlog format. Like the vlog format for that was genuinely insane. Like he had like this little robot thing that he would fly around with to get like these really amazing like landscape shots. He was on a lot of his recordings were him on a like a longboard where he would longboard throughout New York, and he would just go to places and just explore the place every single time. And it was very it was like it's almost kind of like watching like a guy that just like travels around, but he like talks like your dad. And almost like it kind of felt like, because I don't have a father figure. For context, I didn't have any parents growing up.
Oh,
I've My mom passed away when I was a year, and my dad just went crazy. So I haven't. I grew up really fast. Let's just say that.
hmm, hmm.
But Casey Neistat was a channel that I watched because he kind of felt like a father figure almost. He was just like a video that I got to watch in the morning while on the bus to go to school. And I was just gently inspired by like that. It's how I picked up skateboarding. It's how I picked up learning to do photography and videography as well.
Hmm.
And those two things were like really things that I was passionate about. Um, it wasn't until around high school I found Game Grumps and Markiplier, and I think I watched a little bit of Minecraft YouTubers. I think Captain Sparkles,
Hmm.
and Dan TTM. I watched all that, and then I found the Runaway Guys, and I loved their game thing, their throwing controllers, and I watched like a couple of them, and then I leaned more into one of them, Chuck Conroy, and I watched a lot of his stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm in my teenage prime. I'm 14, 15 years old. I'm gonna learn how to make let's plays. I'm gonna learn how to make these videos. And I start, and then I stop, then I start, then I stop, then I start, and then I stop. And like the worst part is that every time I start and every time I stop, I deleted all the old stuff and made a new YouTube channel and try it again. And then one of the big things I had an issue with, and this is something that I had to learn really quickly, is self destruction is really bad.
Hmm.
Um, I would run into a problem with a person, or I would um, indirectly start drama or some other shit, and what would happen is that, oh, this person's causing me a problem. It's a blockade. It's a wall that somebody is putting up preventing me from doing the thing that I want to do. um this is going to just make me depressed. I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
And then I would unfortunately delete everything, change my username, and just like run away.
Hmm.
And for a long time, I only knew how to run away from my problems. To get a little bit more into a little bit of my life, I ran away from home when I was 18. And that was because I was living with a very abusive family. And the only thing that I knew to solve a lot of my problems was to run away or to make it someone else's problem.
Mm.
And it took a lot of like maturing and like growing up to just realize like, oh, you can't do that. Like you literally cannot do that. You have to solve your problems. You have to figure out these sorts of things, because if you don't, it's just going to continue, and
Right.
it's not healthy. And that took a very long time. A lot of that is I think a lot of that to Otaku Reborn for helping me with that, and just kind of like just situating my life and getting me on the rails. um And I learned a lot of life lessons really quickly here, but I've
Yeah.
also learned, like the hard way on a lot of stuff. And that is okay. I don't mind learning the hard way. It's just it's hard. But for content creation wise, that's kind of where I started. But I didn't really start getting things established until 2022. Um, Prior to that, I had been a little bit of a part of an Earthbound community that didn't go so well, and I made a lot of mistakes in that too, which I had apologized for. I went to seek therapy, got the therapy that I needed, and then came back with a little bit more of a my brain on my brain on my head and not my brain in my ass.
Hmm.
So I was a little bit of a jerk growing up and still trying to figure out things. Uh, and I feel like I've definitely learned and matured quite a bit since then. But 2022 came around. This was around the pandemic era, and I found Corone, which is a VTuber that Family Jewels has done stuff with.
Oh
That's how I
yeah,
found out
yeah.
about. That's how found out about him. And I watched a lot of her videos, and I just liked how oh god, I just liked how happy she was all the time. Like even if this is like just a fake like person just putting it up for like show and whatever. Um I just like the aspect of her acting as a character and just having fun
Hmm.
and not really caring about anything else. Like she just wanted to play games, she just wanted to talk, she just wanted to chill. And that really really inspired me to just kind of try streaming. I had tried streaming before as a face cam person, and that didn't really work out because one of the issues that I ran into a lot is that if I'm gonna stream, I'm gonna have to wear a nice outfit. I'm gonna have to do my makeup. I'm gonna have to make sure my tits fit in my bra. This sucks. I hate this. I don't want to do this. And I would have to do that every single time. So I was like, wow, VTubing is awesome because now I can be like, I could wear my pajamas and no one would care, like, because no
Yeah.
one's gonna see that. So that was one of the other reasons why I joined into VTubing. But Corone was a big inspiration for that because I just liked how she played retro games and she seemed to be enjoying herself a lot more as she progressed. When she first started, she was a little shy, but like as she grown into her own thing, she's been fantastic, and that's one of the kind of things that I want to do is just basically share the world of retro games and just modern games, or really just the love of gaming in general, and then just like make my own little world out of it, kind of thing. That's why I've been modding myself into games and like making that sort of like, oh, we can really develop a like a connection with the game a lot more if it's like me in it, like I think that's something that's unique. I don't think a lot of people do that. So
No,
that's kind of
especially.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was that what you had initially thought of when you started to do streaming, like in like 2022, or like did you decide at that point, like I'm going to do the
hmm
modding part of this, or like how did
So
that come about?
so the modding part actually came out as like something that was just purely luck based.
Hmm.
I met a friend named Scholar, and he does a lot of Twilight Princess modding, and we just randomly came into contact. I don't remember exactly how, but one day we just started talking, and he was like, "Hey, I do these mods. Like, I do mods for Zelda games." And I was like, "Do you want to do like this little project?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, do you want to do a modding project?" I was like, "Sure, let's try." I do a lot of Ocarina of Time randomizer. Let's throw myself an Ocarina of Time. And he's like, I never thought about doing something like that. Well, let's try that. So we threw ourselves in Ocarina of Time. I played it a little bit. A lot of people were like very impressed because like in the VTuber scene that like that's not known. Like not a lot of people know about that. The most that somebody has done modding for is like there was like a Mario 64 mod of a VTuber and like indie games. Like a lot indie games are
Hmm.
usually pretty open source, but not Nintendo games or like Xbox games or anything like that. So it's a very wild concept. And eventually I talked to Scholar and I pitched, hey, what if we did a bunch of Zelda games? Just just a bunch of Zelda games. And so while that was in the background, I tapped into modding myself, and I did a mod of Pokemon Heart Gold, and then I did a mod of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. And I wanted to just kind of like do the, like a little testing ground, because this is right after I did Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, we could try this elsewhere. Let's see if this works first before I dump a lot of inspiration and like time into this whole like modding idea thing.
Hmm.
And I had not played Pokemon in a very, very long time. The only Pokemon game that I had played at the time was Red and Blue, and I tried Gen 2, but I never finished it. And that's a whole other story. Basically, the TLDR of that was I caught every single Pokemon all by myself, traded all the Pokemon games to each other, and got the little. There's a little thing in there in the Gen 1 games where it shows, oh, you completed the Pokedex. You're a Pokemon Master, and you can print that off on the GBA printer. Or
Yeah.
not GBA, Game Boy printer.
Yep.
I printed that off. Went to school at recess, and at the time, Gen 3 was already out. Gen 4 was on the way. And a bunch of kids like bullied me and said, like, no, you're not a Pokemon Master. There's like 300 more. You're an idiot. And then they ripped the little thing in front of me. And I was like, oh, I don't want to play Pokemon ever again.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
sucks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so, never played Pokemon until like 2022, 2023. And I modded myself into Pokemon Heart Gold. And I spent, I think I spent like 100 hours on that playthrough, and it was like the most fun I've had in like not only just in my VTubing career, but like also the most fun I've had like a modding thing.
Hmm.
And I knew after that, and seeing like I didn't have a huge community at the time, but seeing how so many people were enthralled and just like happy that I did something like that, really, really pushed me to just, okay, we're gonna do this. So we did a whole Zeldathon in 2023, and that helped a lot to the point where I could start partner pushing. That blew me up quite a bit. And then the following year, I partner pushed and finally got Twitch partner in 2024 in March.
Ooh, congrats.
And that kept on going until, we're doing now. I did another Zeldathon in 2024 where we modded ourselves into a bunch of other Zelda games. I think I'm currently in Zelda 1, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and then A Link Between Worlds, which was the first ever. Which was actually kind of insane. Like that one, still haven't figured out how to make it work on hardware, but it does work on emulator.
Okay.
And then last but not least, I haven't streamed this often yet, but I have done Tears of the Kingdom as well. Yeah, and
Nice.
that was a lot of fun. And so this year we have been kind of expanding on that. Like one of the mod projects that I'm going to be talking to, Talon J, which is a friend of mine that has helped me with the Unreal Engine stuff, is we're doing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Silent Hill 2. We're gonna try doing some of the Elder Scrolls games, which I've not played on stream before, so that's gonna be fun. And then this year we're doing the Pokeathon as well, which is Generation 1 through 6. Generation 6 is never been done before for a modding thing for character, so we're breaking a lot of boundaries in terms of the modding scene, and a lot of people are kind of excited about it. So it's been really fun to bridge the gap of VTubing and modding communities, because funny enough, because of that bridge, there's been like 2 or 3 people that have started doing like their own stuff with VTubing stuff, where they make like a modification for people. One of the things that somebody made was they were doing like a Vroid converter, where they can just take the Vroid model and convert it to a file that can be put into Unity or Unreal Engines like base. Like it just goes right in. And
Okay.
somebody's been making that. Yeah, it's been very, very cool to like see the elements of these come together and people making and building things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. I mean, did you have a like development background before this? Like when you started looking into it yourself? Or?
I wanted to make an indie game, and I've tried making an indie game 3 times. Around when I was still working on a Earthbound website, I was making a small lake simulator game that was very similar to a toys bass fishing and Animal Crossing. It was called Lake Mizu.
Hmm.
It was basically we were going to make a character that was more or less like androgynous. Like you couldn't really tell whether the character was female or male, with a little bit of cutscenes and a little bit of like just the whole aspect was just fishing. But
Hmm.
the more you fished and the more you did with the community, which is all the characters were like animals based off of other things, but they all had like hardships, right? So like we had a character that was a shark, but he was handicapped. And one of his backstories was that he used to be a very big pro wrestler, but he got injured because someone cheated.
Mm.
And that's been like a huge like trauma, like hard thing on him. But like over a period of time, as you spend time at Lake Mizu, you can help him like overcome that trauma, overcome those sorts of things, and talk things out and build relationships. Almost kind like that, not like the same like social links like in Persona, but like
Oh yeah.
think of it as like a little bit of a mix of some of the Animal Crossing aspects, some Undertale stuff, and then some relationship building like in Persona.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't personally played it myself, but I was also wondering if there was like some Spiritfarer in there as well.
I haven't played that game, and I didn't know of that game's existence until like this was being developed. Like the Lake Mizu game was being developed around 2020.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't know if like I don't know if specific like it was a COVID project that we started
Yeah.
essentially. So I don't know if it was Spiritfarer that was like an inspiration, but we definitely had like those sorts of vibes of definitely trying to mix a toys bass fishing and um Animal Crossing together, because we saw it. One of the big reasons, and it was a bunch of Earthbound fans that we were building it with, is because a toys bass fishing doesn't have an official translation. So a lot of people don't know that a lot of the characters are animals that you could talk to and you can really engage with them, and they're very cute. They're like very very sweet. A lot of them like give you tips and like kind of treat you like not necessarily like a child, but they do talk to you as if like they're trying to teach you how to play the game, and like they give you little fish facts and a bunch of other little tidbits and stuff. And the game was really cool. It was one of the few games that utilized a fishing rod N64 controller called
Oh.
the Suricon 64. It was
Hmm.
very very cool. And it was one of the first Nintendo controllers that had motion controls built into the controller. So like when you cast out, you actually physically cast the controller. It's
Yeah.
very very interesting. Um, but I love that game. I wish I was really good at Japanese. I'm good enough to like get myself around. I'm not good enough to like read full on sentences and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so
I'm
but
right there with you on that, at
yeah,
least.
like I mean, obviously, like I played Mother 2 and Mother 3 like in Japanese before, and I got through it all, but like the most I got out of it was learning like what yes and no means and like a couple of questions, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I will say that if you do want to learn a language, pick up Pokemon X and Y or like any new recent Pokemon game and play it in the language that you're trying to learn, because they write it as if it's written for a child to read, and it's very
Oh.
very effective. Like
Yeah.
it helps a lot. Like a lot of X and Y and Sun and Moon are written in hiragana specifically, so
Yeah.
it's really really easy to catch on onto a lot of stuff. Um, but to say that I've had like a game dev background, the most I got into that was that I almost worked for Nintendo, but that's it.
Yeah.
And it
Hey.
wasn't even for game dev, it was for like multimedia and like social media management. And I part of me regrets not taking it, and part of me goes, I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think I can handle the amount of heat that's going on right now. Yeah.
That's fair. That's honestly fair.
Yeah.
But hey, that's better than nothing.
Hmm.
I'm curious, do you have a fascination with like peripherals, like gaming peripherals and hardware?
I own two Virtual Boys. Yes. Yes.
Are
I
you gonna
am
get the NSO one? Because I am.
I saw that and I popped off. It's like, dude, I have the entire Virtual Boy collection. This is gonna be awesome.
No
Um,
way.
I do. I have an entire Virtual Boy collection, 2 Virtual Boys, and as well as the homebrew connector for the Mario Tennis, so you can play multiplayer with it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It was never released, but it does support multiplayer. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember. I
Um,
remember hearing about that part. But
I
you're telling me
am
you have like the weird anime like virus Tetris game?
I do.
Oh my god.
Dude. Yeah, no, I have that, and I'm very much into like peripherals. I have the RE4 chainsaw controller. I have like all kinds of like I will tell you this. I do own a Wii kiosk. I
Oh, like
own
the ones at
a
GameStop and
I own a I own a DSi debugger as well as a Nintendo 3DS debugger.
ooh.
I used to be like in my phase of working on the Earthbound website, and between that, I was really huge into Nintendo preservation. So I used to talk to Luigi Blood and a bunch of other those folks who did a lot of like preservation for like Hidden Palace. So
Mhm.
I'm really, really into that. I have a lot of those things. Um, and it's funny, the 3DS debugger that I have is the same one that Linkus made a video, not Linkus, Linus Tech Tips made a video on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is the exact same one, and the reason I know that is when I got it from the person, the wrappings and everything still had LTG on it, and I was like, oh, that's Linus Tech Tips. That sucks. uh and I really wanted to like take a picture of it and like just send it to him and be like, "Hey, guess what I have?" But no, I've been like kind of like in between with like Nintendo preservation. I wanted to dive into like Sony's development history stuff because one of the big holy grails is the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yes.
And if I ever got my hands on that, I
I have
would do some
only
crazy
seen the
stuff.
thing at MagFest a
Mhm.
couple of times.
There is only, to my knowledge, there's only 2 of them. I
Yep.
think someone has it, and we don't know who that is. And the last person that I saw to have it was like I think Ben Heck, who made a video on it on YouTube. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
who the other person who owns the Nintendo PlayStation, but yeah, that's like the holy grail of everything. The one thing I do wish I owned is a N64 DD. I don't have
Man.
that. I do want one, but I do not have that yet. The only other weird peripheral thing that I have, I guess, is like I used to, well,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
like, what's like your holy grail item that you have now? Like, what's the thing that you're just like so
Oh,
proud that you own?
the big thing right now,
Yeah.
probably the Wii kiosk. I
How did
definitely
you
should
get
not.
that? Was that an
I
eBay or?
so this is gonna blow your mind. So one of my friends is a former Nintendo employee
Mhm.
that won a Wii kiosk in box, never opened, nothing, at an auction, and it was auctioned off for like $100.
What the?
Yeah. And no one opened it. It was just there. Apparently, it was supposed to be shipped to like a GameStop or something, and they never replied.
Oh.
So it just sat there and rotted in like some warehouse for like 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
And they were doing that auction to some of the former Nintendo employees who were just leaving, like some of the people who were being let go and stuff like that. And they're like, "Hey, we have this little auction thing. Do you want to buy like any of these older stuff that no one else will have access to?"
Mhm.
And the former Nintendo employee who lives with me was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I'm like, "How much do you want it for?" And they're like, "I will be going. I'm down to give it to you for like 500." And I'm like, "That's fine." And now it is my guest book. So
Oh, that's really cool.
when a new person comes to my house, I tell them go make a me.
Oh, that's really cute. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, we've had a couple of people make one, and it's really really neat. It
Nice.
has all of the stuff. It has it's the panel on it right now is the Super Mario Sluggers. I want to print a new panel and put like uh s- a different game on it. It can't run certain games actually. It's Wii hardware. It's what is it? It's firmware. It's it's below the normal firmware that we have. Like, so it's not even one that was like publicly released.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
I know that, like, store kiosks, will usually
Mhm.
have, like a store firmware. I can't remember what the technical term is
Yeah,
for it.
there's a disc that it came with that you play and it just like does like autoplay like of games. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very, very neat.
I was about to say,
The
next you're
only
gonna tell me you have, like, the Pokemon Snap station or
I was offered that once and I don't have it. The only other thing that I really, really want is like a Crazy Taxi arcade. I think that shit would be funny, and also
Yeah.
it'd be really cool. The second thing I would I was offered this one and I didn't pick it up because it's just too big. Was the Luigi's Mansion 2 arcade cabinet.
Oh my
Apparently
god, yeah.
one of them was being offered at a Dave and Buster's. They were like, "Yeah, no one comes and plays this, so we're not gonna waste the energy keeping it." And I was like, do you want to sell it?" And they're like, "Yeah, $4,000." I'm like, I'm down. And then Otaku was like, that's too big. And I'm like, oh,
It's a very large
it's
I think I
it's
have
pretty
one in my
big.
local Dave& and Buster's.
It's like the size of like a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's very big. Yeah, and I'm like, I could put it in my garage. And like, no, because you can't put it in the garage. It's too hot in there. I'm like, but no, but
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. So that's like the only two like things that I drop. I guess like in terms of collecting, like I haven't been collecting too much because a lot of like my funds and like investment has been going into like VTubing.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, those are two things that I wish I had, but not I don't need it.
Well,
I don't need it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, as have to start making those types of decisions,
You have
and
to start
it's
making those decisions like, hey, which is actually important in your life? I don't want
uh,
to keep
I mean, the kiosk, man.
content creating or cool kiosks that I can make a one video on, and it's just
That's like
no.
$50 on YouTube. You make,
Oh
like,
man, I love
so
making
much
money off of
ad revenue.
YouTube. It's so great. No,
It's amazing.
no.
Um, Speaking of, so, your VTuber, so
Hmm.
was it specifically Korone that, like, got you inspired to do VTubing?
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
was, like, the first thing you learned in terms of VTubing that you just were like, you were not ready for when you started?
Uh, Running a 3D model or 2D model, or like running a model and then playing games and then running OBS is a GPU guzzler. Yeah, one of the first things I had to do when I wanted to change my from a live 2D to a 3D model was I had to update my GPU. It just could not do it, and I have to update my GPU again because like other stuff is going on. So one of the things that I would say that is that VTubing is absolutely a luxury. Um, there are like there are some things that you can do. Like obviously you can PNG tube or GIF tube, as some people have called it, or you can get like a Vroid model that is not going to up your GPU stats too high. There are alternatives,
Yeah.
but the programs that I use specifically can get a little power hungry for a lot of stuff. So I would say that if you're going to go into VTubing, don't fully expect everything to work out exactly because some programs take a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
The stuff that Corone uses for her programming and everything is proprietary to Hololive, so I
Mhm.
don't know exactly what she uses. I will say that the stuff that they use is not as technically impressive as the stuff that's out there in the indie market because I mean, like she doesn't have hand tracking like on her live 2D model or
Mm.
anything like that. But then also she doesn't really VTube using the 3D model all that much. Because one of the things that I noticed with her VTuber model in a 3D is that it doesn't really detect her mouth like moving all that much, so she ends up like kind of like smiling like this, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I would argue that one thing I didn't think of that when I first started VTubing was lighting. I didn't think anything at all about lighting. I was like, oh, I don't need that. It'll be fine. No, lighting comes with a big, big thing, especially if you're not using like an iPhone for tracking. Um, Thankfully, I don't need to worry too much about that because I'm using an iPhone now, so it tracks my face properly. But if you're using a webcam with no lighting, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, I've heard. So are iPhones like the best at face tracking at this point, or is it just time?
Generally speaking, if you use iFacial mocap, yeah,
Okay.
iPhone is definitely like at this point. I would say that most top of the line VTubers use an iPhone to track their
Because one of
face.
the
Yeah.
things I'm noticing in particular with your model is that your eyes, whatever is tracking it, is so sensitive. Because I
Hmm.
feel like that is so I mean, like, you can probably see my eyes move, but, like, I feel like for a phone trying to capture that, that is so sensitive, like, what I'm seeing on your model.
Yeah. And it's very hard to track those like your eyes. Like one of the big things that a webcam has a problem with is that 9 times out of 10 it'll track the blinking, but it
Yeah.
won't track me moving like my eyes all the
Yeah.
way around. No, it won't do that. And the other thing is I'm wearing glasses too. You would think the glare off my monitor would mess that up. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And it tracks my mouth too, like mm, mm, mm.
Was that something you had to pick up too, was, like, moving your mouth so that
You have okay, there's a thing called puppeteering. You have to exaggerate
Yeah.
your expressions to make it like, because like, if you saw me, you would think that I'm a freak, like, moving around like, it's like acting. It's like actually like acting, like, people think that, like, VTubing is so easy. I hate to say this, but it is not. Like, it really isn't. Like, go go stream for 5 or 6 hours, like, moving your hands, talking and exaggerating your expressions for 6 hours and tell me if you're not exhausted
I mean,
by the
I'm
end of the day.
exhausted just doing the normal stuff and not enunciating.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to hibernate after today.
yeah, that's what I've been talking about. Like, a lot of people, like, think that, like, oh, you just sit, like, here, and you just talk like this or whatever, and I'm like, no, you have
To
to
be
move
fair, that's
around.
not bad, like, watching your
Yeah.
mouth movement. That wasn't
Mhm.
too bad.
I mean, like, my mouth movement is pretty generally okay because it's tracking. So the way that the mouth works is that the camera is tracking my mouth as well as picking up the audio waves from my microphone, and it takes those two together and then puts it down. So it's
Hmm.
doing both at the same time.
So it's kind of figuring out what to make your mouth do because it's
Mhm.
interpreting the words.
It's interpreting AEIOU. Yep,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
AU.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm not making it, like, if I'm not making any noise, like,
It's
you
still not
know.
too bad. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that was something. So, what's been really, you're the second VTuber I've had on the podcast. Not like this podcast is very old, mind you, but like
Hmm.
the very first episode we had Masae when she did her rebranding. And
Hmm.
she also mentioned that, like, normally she just like kind of talks like this and she doesn't really. And she's like, I've had to learn how to actually like open my mouth and have that track.
Hmm.
And she's like, it is she's like, "It's the most fun, but also the most tiring thing I've ever done." Like, does that
So
sound about right, or
it's about right. So, like, for instance, um, think of it this way: a lot of games, especially really high profile games, like, say, let's say God of War, like the
Mhm,
new God of War Ragnarok. A lot of the motions, voice acting, and capture is all done through mocap.
mhm,
So a lot of those actors, like, when they're talking and enunciating and, like, staging everything, they are exaggerating their expressions because it makes it easier for the people who are doing the, like, checkups and, like, touch ups and everything in the animation department, because you want to have those expressions. It makes the character feel more alive when you do that. So when it comes to VTubing, you have to move around. You have to exaggerate these expressions because you're essentially a cartoon. You are essentially a cartoon.
I mean,
So if you don't, then it just kind of looks like, you know, boring. I don't know. Like, it just,
it's fair.
yeah. I mean, I think you, like, obviously when I'm gaming, like, I'm not going to be moving all that much unless something happens and I have to, like, talk about it and, like, pause the game and go, okay, chat, you don't understand. That is stupid. Like, like, just something like that. But during the just chatting segments, I would say that VTubing really shines a lot because it's just kind of like magic to like see a character come to life with just not having to have like a morph suit on with the little dots and everything and
Yeah.
everything. Like it's really cool. Like for instance, the tracking for my hand, I'm having a camera that's like connected to my neck, and it's like, you know, it does depth here. Like this is up to my face, you know, right here, but it's like right here. That's right there. That's where my camera is.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a camera pointing forward, and then there's a camera coming this way to track my face. And like I'm hooked up to the computer, so like I can't move all that much. But like, you know, but if I were to do VR chat, for example, like I have my trackers like all my legs and my knees and everything, so I would be able to move in a 3D space in my house with my face tracking the way that it is right now. You know, so like
Okay.
it's essentially like wearing a mocap suit. If hi Ricky, my dog's here. Hi
Oh,
baby.
good
Hey, what are
pupper.
you doing? Okay, he's just saying hi. But that gets into its own thing because I've seen VTubers, which by the way, if you ever become a VTuber and you do VR chat stuff, don't do this. I've seen VTubers do backflips and shit with it and end up breaking some of the equipment, and I'm like, yeah, that you shouldn't do that. um but yeah, I would say that like you're definitely puppeteering, you're definitely enunciating, you're definitely acting a lot when
Yeah.
it comes to VTubing. I would say that I don't want to make it sound like it's more work than like a cam like streamer, but to some degree it is, unless like the cam streamer is like really like when I think of a cam streamer who is like really good at acting, I think of Etika. God rest
Yeah.
his soul. I miss
Yeah.
that guy. But like he was really good at like acting, projecting his emotions, like just everything about him was like really, really lively. And
Yeah.
that's I think of that and how to convert that sort of attitude, that sort of like emotion into VTubing. And when you can do that and you can convert, you get a lot more emotion, a lot more feel out of the character you're trying to portray. Yeah.
And do you feel like that came naturally to you, or like what was the learning curve on that?
It definitely came naturally to me because I'm a theater kid.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, I did a lot of theater and I did a lot of choir. So like I'm in like both of those sorts of things. I was also a band kid, so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just like went to all of the curriculums that I could do. My excuse was if I do enough of curriculums, I'll never have to go home. So that was the idea. And I played a lot of sports, all those sorts of things in high school. Taught me a lot of things to, you know, really focus in on how to do the acting aspect. One of my favorite things we did was we did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe of Narnia
Mm-hmm.
at a theater, and I got to play as Edmund, and I also got to play as Lucy. When I was younger, my voice was not as deep, but I'm still working on that now. And before I did puberty, they let me play as Lucy because my voice just kind of fit at the time.
Yeah.
But 2 years later, they were like, "Well, this doesn't really work well now. You need to be Edmund." And I was like, "Okay, I'm
Shucks.
sad." Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Puberty ruins everything.
I mean, it's crazy to think about because like they didn't have any. I was a very short person. I still am kind of short. I'm like barely 5 feet.
Huh.
But in high school, they didn't have anybody that was like that short, and they really needed somebody who was short for Lucy. And it was kind of like a last decision kind of thing. I was like, for a Catholic school, it's really weird that they made a boy dress up as a girl. But you know,
Desperate times.
desperate times, I guess. I mean, it's not really that weird in the acting scene. They've done that for years, but like, you know, for a Catholic school, it was a little weird, but you know.
Yeah. That's fair. Did streaming and VTubing teach you anything like additional on top of like your theater, your like let's just call it like your entertaining career from like middle school to high school?
One of the things I will tell you is that VTubing and like just streaming in general has helped a lot with my communication skills.
Mm.
I've learned to deal with people and just kind of like talk things out a little bit more and be a little bit more mature about sort of some situations. But there are a lot of people, unfortunately, in the content sphere that aren't very mature. So I've learned to like just kind of wheel and deal with those sorts of situations and figure out like, okay, what is an appropriate level of how should I handle this? Like, should I be mad or should I just be like, hey, that hurt me, don't do that? Or, like, should I be disgruntled about something? Should I say this publicly? Which a lot of people have a problem with. There's a lot of people that tend to take a problem, put it in a public sphere rather than just going to the person and going, hey, don't do that. So, and I kind of like dislike that aspect. It's really sad that a lot of people tend to turn that way because I feel like a lot of problems can be solved if you just talk to the person. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I think a lot of that used to stem from the fact of consistent bad behavior where they're
yeah, I
clearly
agree.
like
Yeah.
constantly just not learning their lesson. But
Mhm.
I do think that there's like now like yeah,
It's rampant is
it
is like the thing. Yeah.
and it's also difficult. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to go up to somebody and be like, "Hey man, like don't do that."
Yeah.
Because you never know
No.
how that's going to turn around.
I also think that confrontation is really hard for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I totally understand, and that's why I always lead up with like, well, don't start it off as a confrontational thing. Lead it off as, hey, just letting you know that this thing bothers me. I would appreciate if you don't do that. There's ways to lead up to those sorts of conversations without being confrontational or aggressive or anything like that.
Yeah,
Although
diplomacy.
again, although again, I understand that it is very hard for a lot of people. One of the things that I do know, and it seems to be consistent sometimes, is that there is a lot of people who struggle with mental illness in content creation. There is a lot of autistic people. There's a lot of people with ADHD or chronic things. So obviously, this becomes even significantly harder for communication. So I would say that streaming has definitely gave me better communication skills as well as better friends.
Yeah.
I didn't make a lot of friends until college. So, and even then, those people in college were still very much high school minded people and they suck. So, but yeah, for the most part, I think I've learned quite a lot of big lessons in life and I've learned to better myself as a person and just really, really progress. I mean, like one of the big things that I've always wanted to do was charity events
Mm.
and I have ran 3 charity events through my streaming career, and we have raised in total between the 3 charity events as $30,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital Cancer Research,
Hell yeah.
and that is a big, big thing for me. I
Yeah.
really do love doing anything that really just helps other people, and like if like one of the things I want to try to do is try to make tutorials for content creation and really get people out there to like kind of help with these sorts of things. But it's always it's always like you got to kick the can down sometimes.
I
So,
mean, that is kind of the inspiration why I did start Let's Talk. I think 10 years ago, trying
mhm.
to figure out how to do like VTubing wasn't a thing.
No,
I sort of like there was some PNG stuff.
the biggest person that started about I want to say 8 years ago was Kasuna Ai, and she
Hmm.
was pretty big. She's not really a VTuber. She more kind of feels like Hatsune Miku, where she could
Mm.
just be anything. There's like, there's a gaming channel, there's a news channel, there's her idol channel. She's like really anything.
It's like a brand at
But
this point.
like a brand, yeah.
Yeah.
But then that slowly turned into, okay, well, what if we had like, fictional characters we can control and make lore with and talk and play games and that sort of stuff and feel like you're talking to something otherworldly, and a lot of people have done that and it slowly grew into what it is now. I mean, like Iron Mouse, like everyone thinks that she's been like big and with V Shoujo for a long period of time. I'm like, no, Iron Mouse started like in 2020, 2019.
Hmm.
Like she started VTubing a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
And when people like say like even like for another friend, well, I wouldn't really consider her a friend, but I want to be friends with her. Rose Doodle, she just, did her 10-year anniversary And I'm like, 10 years? You've been streaming for 10 what? I thought you were like streaming for like 2 or 3. Like what? Like you're part of Ichiban and like all these other people. Like I figured that you guys are like relatively new. No, they've been here for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of it like that where God, I've only been doing this for like almost 3 years. And I'm like, I just started. I'm a baby
Yeah.
compared to like all of these people. And I'm like, progression and like building a community and like growth it's a finite thing, and some people grow really really fast, some people grow really really slow. But I would also say that as long as you keep doing it, you're gonna be fine. I mean, like Vinny Vinesauce has been doing streaming for like 16 years,
Yes.
and only 2 years ago did he just reach 1 million subs on YouTube. Like you have to really consider that. Like Markiplier blew up real fast, but like
Yep.
then you have people like Vinny who slowly progress. Like, you know, his streams weren't like super popular until like 2019. Like
Yeah.
it happens. And I like to take it like that way where like, you know, I get inspired by other people all the time. So yeah, I would say the Corone was like really, really the big inspiration for that. But as far as like other creators go, like there's plenty of other people like Yomi and like Ren and like a couple other folks that I look up to, and I think of like, oh well, these are my friends. Like these are people that I have a friendship with, but I can still think of them as somebody that inspires me to make things. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the best thing. Like when you can have that little creative brain trust with people that you can
Mhm.
trust, it's a really not a lot of people can have it. It's like a very, very it's like a privilege, like to be able to just
Yeah. No, I
be with
agree with you.
like-minded people and just be able to kind of
Hmm.
inspire each other to create and things
I
like
mean,
that.
like one of the things that like warmed my heart this year was um Josh invited me to a collab. Well, I actually it's the other way around. I invited him to a collab we streamed on his channel where I told him like, "Hey, if I buy you Dark Souls, I know you've tried to play Dark Souls. I know you seem to like it. If I bought you Dark Souls and we played the multiplayer mod, would you play with me and give it another chance?" And he
Mm.
was like, "Yeah, sure, let's try it." And he said that was the best time he's ever played a Souls like, and also the best time collabing with somebody that he never knew. Like he just
Mm.
straight up said like you were like he told me like it is such a like nice thing to meet somebody new and not like have to be like on my guard, like be vulnerable. And I felt that was like super sweet of him
Yeah.
because it was like it's hard. It's really hard making creator friends now. Like
Yeah.
everyone is like super shield up, ready to like expect the worst of somebody, and it's sad. But hearing that from him, you know, from a creator who's been at this for a long time, and also somebody that I've watched like a little bit here and there, I felt truly inspired and thankful, you know, to consider him a friend. And it, you know, it led me to talking to you today. Like, you know, if it weren't for him, then I wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy. And that led from he invited me to another collab where we played Mario Party with Masay and I forgot his name. Shit. I should know who this is. Um he used to do guitar covers and let's plays. He does like Zelda videos now.
Wait.
Shit, I should remember who this is. Fuck. Oh no.
I
Oh
was like, are you
no.
going to the VODs channel now? Because I'm going to the VODs channel.
No, I'm checking. I'm checking. I know who this is. I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh no, it's Liam.
Oh yeah,
That's who
Liam
it was.
Six. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Liam
yeah,
Six.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was like. I was like six something, six something. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to him in a while. He's been busy. But no, he's sweet. I love that guy. He is very, very kind. His name just missed me for a second.
Yeah. It
Um,
happens.
yeah, I brought him onto a Minecraft stream once when he was drunk and it was silly. But no, I like him and I liked Masay quite a bit, and
Yeah.
that led me to talking to them. And then you know I did a little like game show collab with Masay, and like you know it just led up to these like it's like a little domino effect that like Josh should just put into thing because like even after that like after I talked to Masay I talked to Claire, and then like I started to get to know Claire, and like just a little domino effect. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is very very cool. and I'm very grateful for that because it is kind of revitalized my feeling and love for content creation and just like wanting to make new friends and like-minded people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is a like I went into doing the podcast to try to like get more information because yeah, it was hard to know how to do let's plays like 10 years
Hmm.
ago. I think it's a lot easier now to find that information, but it was
I
also just to
Yeah.
like get out of my shell. I think that was the hardest
Hmm.
part cuz it was so hard to find an avenue for me to like find new people and in a way that I could talk to them about the things that I actually enjoy.
Hmm.
I am not good at work meetups. I'll just say or happy hours. So for me, this was like my opportunity to finally like meet new people, face rejection, um,
Mhm.
handle those emotions, like handle that process. And I will say, like, especially for those of you like listening in, um, it is that the rejection part of it and not taking it personally is probably one of the hardest things.
Mhm.
Because
I
it's
agree.
it is all over the place. Like content creation or not, like you are just if in order to get things that you want or get things that you feel like you need, you are
Mhm.
probably going to have to face rejection and you have to learn how to navigate those feelings in a mentally healthy manner.
Mhm. I would
And
also like to add to that that
yeah,
like even though like rejection is like a big negative thing and you're very scared of it, I would also recommend that you should always shoot your shot anyways.
yeah,
You should shoot your shot and shoot big if you want. You never know. Like there's always a time and a place for these sorts of things, and sometimes it might not be your time. Sometimes it might be your time, and
hmm
you won't know until you do that. The worst thing that could happen in terms of rejection, in terms of like collaboration projects or whatever, is that they say no. That is like the big worst thing that could possibly happen. And I think like there's nothing wrong with reaching out to people. There's nothing wrong with like, hey, you inspire me. Hey, I like your vibe. I would like to do something or I'd like to
yeah.
work with you or get to know you. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Now, there are some caveats to that. Obviously, you shouldn't just
Sometimes,
rant.
yeah.
Obviously, you should not just go to random people and be like, "Hey, please collab with me. I would like to collab with you. Let's play Peak." No, don't do that. Obviously, you should get to know the person or follow them of some kind. Like you should know who they are
I
to
think
some degree.
the
Yeah.
biggest advice I can ever give
Mhm.
for that particular thing is um bring people to your thing, don't ask to be part of their thing.
Exactly. I
Um
100% agree with you on that one.
that has always been I don't want to call it I mean it's a pet peeve. But there are so many people that are just kind of like, "Oh, can I be on like a stream, like a Mario
Mm.
Party stream someday?" I'm like, "What if you had a Mario Party stream and you wanted me to be on?" Like it's so much different being asked to come over to, like, your house versus being like, "Hey, can I come over to your house?" Like, there's just a different vibe to that.
Yeah, basically it feels so. This is how I feel about it. It feels intrusive when
Yeah,
you go to someone and say, "Hey, want to collab? I'll join your stream."
yeah.
And
Okay,
and
so I have to do all the work.
right, and like I think it's different if you know the person. Like
Yeah,
for instance, one of my first collabs with one of my friends was me joining their stream.
yeah,
Um and it wasn't like they invited me. We were just like, "Hey, let's do a collab." And then eventually we just was like, "Okay, so on our schedules it works out this way. You're not streaming that day, I'm streaming this day. You just join me." Like
yeah.
that's how it worked out. But it wasn't a let me join your house. Let me be like let me eat your food. Like, like
There's only one time that has worked
Mhm.
out for that person, for me, and it was Yo Schiller because I was like, "Oh, shit, I know that guy." So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, but, like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I don't know you and your first thing is to be like, "Hey, can I do a Mario Party stream?"
"Hey, can
Like
I come over, eat your
yeah,
food, use your bathroom? Can I
uh,
sleep in your bed?" Like, "Who are
no?
you?" Like,
Maybe?
"What?" Like, if you're really like, if you were close friends or like decent friends, I
Yeah.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
But if you're like some random stranger who has never like talked or interacted with this person before, then like you should invite them. Like, invite them as a guest, because them being as a guest feels like, oh, I'm being invited to
Yeah.
something. Oh, this is like a special occasion. You're treating me to something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it sounds silly at first. Like, it's like, oh, I have to be the guest. I have to be the host or something. Not necessarily, but like, I will say it is not. It does feel nice to be invited to
Mhm.
things. Like, I don't get invited to a lot of stuff, but when I do, I feel honored and I feel thankful, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow, this is really cool, and I usually have a pretty good time.
Hell
I've
yeah.
only been invited to one thing that I didn't have a good time on, and it was, yeah, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
that's all right.
No worries. I do
Mhm.
wanna talk a little bit about it because I didn't wanna, like, not talk about it.
Sure.
But since we're talking about collabs anyway, yeah, talk to me a little bit about the game show. What was that for? What was that like for you? Like, how'd you come up with that
Oh.
idea?
Okay, so Dungeonaire was a little game that I came up with when I was watching TRG's Throne Controllers, and I got it's really funny because that that particular thing, I always got really frustrated with it, because I was like, wow, these are really obscure questions that everyone's gonna get like flunked on, like in the first like one or two rounds.
Yeah.
Like, I give them like some leeway, like give them like some hearts or like a power up or something. And then I thought about it and I was just like, I like this, but what if I made it a single player experience?
Mm.
And I turned it into, okay, you have four hearts, you have five like lifelines or
Yeah.
power ups, and I treated it almost like, do you want to be a millionaire video game edition?
Hmm.
And then it started off as that, and then I was like, okay, but now it just feels like TRG's Throne Controllers, but single player. How do I mix it up? I gave it a game over world.
Okay.
I took like a bunch of Mario sprites and everything, and we have like little areas where you have toad houses, you have castles, you have like split paths, you have like little events that happen, and it just basically turned into its like own like vision essentially.
Mhm.
And I had ran that show. I ran like 50 of them at this point. I am taking a break from it right now because it's
I
a
mean,
lot.
50 is a lot.
Yeah, well, I did it. I did a collab for. I did a collab of Dungeonaire for a whole year. Like, and I did it like every week,
Oh
like
my god.
Wednesday every week. I did it for a whole year, and it helped a lot with growth because it brought like a lot of new faces and stuff like that. But I eventually needed to take a break from it because one of the things that I really want to do is I want to make it multiplayer. I
Mm.
want to make it so that three or four people have to brawl it out and like try not to kill each other. Like, I think it would be funny. But one of the things that comes to an issue is it's like, okay, well, how do I send this? Because I can't send the game because it has copyrighted material. So I can't make it
Mm.
public.
Mhm.
So one of the things we are working on is making a companion app that you can download on your iPhone or Android. And if you're an audience member or a contestant, you click on which one and you can participate in the audience, or you can participate as a contestant.
Mhm.
And that's the idea that we're trying to get. We haven't worked on it in a while because I have so many other projects going on,
Yeah.
but um, I'm always on the roll with that sort of stuff. But one of the things that I really do want to try to do is take because Dungeonaire was made in an iOS app. It was made with really basic UI and everything on the iPad, and like iPads aren't really known to do that. So like Otaku Reborn is an iOS developer, so like a lot of the stuff that he does on that is a lot easier for him. But I would love to turn it into like a game maker game of some kind, or something that could be run on a computer, because it would be a lot easier to stream it.
Yeah.
Um, it would also be a lot easier to distribute, because then I can just send the .exe to the person and be like, "Hey, just run this and don't distribute it because then I'll get in trouble. But like that's really it. Like
Yeah.
it would make it so much easier. But that comes into a territory that I am not very familiar with. Like even though I have had like some game development stuff, I'm not really that good at it just yet. The most I'm good at is yeah, and that's the other
Yeah,
thing
I
is
just
like,
saw
hey,
Bombite
download
in
my
chat.
game.
Hey,
Yeah,
download. It's definitely not
yeah,
a
it's
virus.
definitely not a virus. But that's the other thing is that the territory that I can do is I know how to do mods. I do know how to make sprites. I could do everything. I just don't know how to code.
Mm,
I don't know how to do a lot of the coding. Like coding, my coding knowledge is like very low. Like it's enough to get a modification working, and that's it. The most I did recently was fixing some colors and hexadecimal so that it had a correct palette for Pokemon,
okay.
and that's it. Like it's enough to be dangerous.
Enough to
Yeah,
be
like a little
dangerous.
bit. But nothing like I guess like the only thing that I did recently was I made a Python script that runs into my streamer bot so that people can play Pokemon while I sleep during my subathon.
Oh, okay.
And that is the most I've ever done. I probably will never do that again because it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But my chat did beat Pokemon while I was asleep, and I was very impressed. I was like, "Damn, you guys
Good
beat
job, chat.
Pokemon? How'd you do that? That's crazy." Anyway, uh, but but yeah, I do want to bring dungeon. Can't talk. I want to bring Dungeonaire back at some point. It's just I don't know when. I think what I'll do is I'll probably bring it back once I have the idol outfit finished because there was an outfit that I did an art contest for that was to be made for the game show kind of stuff. So I think it would probably be really cool if like I really, really revamped the entire show and made like some stakes. Like, like, okay, well, like if you win, you get like 10 gift subs or something. But if you
Yeah.
lose, I get to make fun of you, like or
Yeah.
something.
There's
Or
got to be some kind
just
of like
yeah,
simple punishment game, I guess.
yeah. Hi Ricky. Hi baby. He wants to say hi.
Aw, love the dogs.
Oh,
Um,
he is very cute. I love him
yeah,
to
I've
death.
seen pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cute. Uh, I have a question about this. So you've been
Mm.
talking about like viewer participation. You can be an audience member, you can be a contestant. Have you
Mm.
considered taking this to conventions?
I want to so hard. I really do, but every time I pitch it, I get told no.
Oh,
I've done it 4 times. I've pitched it 4 times, and every time I get told no. And I think the reason why is I I don't want to say this as like a mean thing, but I get the feeling it's because I'm not well known enough. And that is totally okay. I just wish that they would be like, "Hey, I don't think you would get the biggest like I don't think this would be good enough for a venue space." And that's totally fine. You could be
hmm.
honest with me, but they don't say that. And that leads me to thinking, okay, I did something wrong or I
Yeah,
said something, and they don't tell me why. They just say, "Hey, um, thank you for your interest," or what. Like they send me
yeah,
the basic like bot email.
yep.
And I'm like, this sucks, dude. Like, just tell me straight up why. Like, but um the only excuse that I've been given was tech related. And
Hmm.
I was like, I could just bring my own laptop and a projector and a microphone. Like, I don't are you saying that you can't provide that? Like one of the cons that I was trying to go to said that they couldn't provide tech support or tech for it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just bring my own stuff. And they're like, no, 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 you can't bring your own tech. And I'm like, why?
I was about to solve your problem.
I was gonna solve the issue, and they're like, well, we I'm assuming that what they were trying to tell me was we're not interested
Yeah.
because you wouldn't bring enough of a crowd, and that is totally fine. It's just be honest, please,
I
when you're
mean,
trying to write these sorts of things.
I've from having also received like a lot of rejection in terms of like
Mhm.
panels and things like that. Yeah, it's really, really hard not
Yeah,
to get
take
away
it
from that
personally.
mindset
Yeah,
of being like, well, I'm just not big enough.
yeah.
What is big enough? for a convention.
Yeah.
But like it's really really difficult to not think that way. I can't just sit here and tell you don't think that way because I do
Oh
it
no.
too.
Yeah. Well, so the last one that I recently tried to pitch for, they gave me a denial, but they said like it wasn't tech related, it wasn't like audience retention related. It was literally the fact that they just did not have room for the panel. And I
Yeah,
was like, okay, thank you for being honest, thank you for telling me, and I will try again next year.
yeah,
A lot of the time, these conventions, I don't follow a lot of convention related stuff. It's why I have a new manager that's helping me with that stuff so that she can lead into those sorts of things to tell
yeah,
me like, okay, here's how you word this. Here's how you describe this so that they can get more interest. And like one of the big things that I've been doing now is when I send out that stuff, I send like a example video. I used to send like a full VOD, and I forgot that a lot of these conventions don't like swearing, don't like
ah, yeah.
that stuff, and I realized, oh, I can't be myself. Uh-oh. And that's probably that probably was the case. Like I think like maybe one or two of them probably watched the VOD. They were like initially interested, and then they heard me say fuck like 3 times, and I'm like, oh, okay.
She says the boo boo words.
She says bad words for
Yeah,
not advertiser friendly stuff. Oh no, that means that we can't have children here. Oh no, that's majority of our audience. Yeah.
yeah. No, I definitely understand that feeling. And it definitely, but
Yeah.
I think it just goes back to what we were saying. Like, I'm, it's more worth it that you at least tried
Yeah, I mean,
and
like
submitted it.
my third try, I got denied the same way, and I just started taking it, like, stopped taking it personally. Where it
Yeah,
was just like, okay, it just makes sense. Like maybe they just filled out too fast. I didn't submit fast enough, or like they just don't have the tech related stuff for it, or I don't know. Like there's just a lot of stuff that could be a factor.
yeah,
I just wish that like when these organizers like send out these emails that they just straight up tell you the big reason instead of just saying like a multitude of reasons, because it's
yeah.
like, okay, well now it's gonna be playing with my head, and that doesn't feel good as a creator.
No,
Brainworms are a big thing.
yeah,
So like, I understand. And I would love to put this at a con or a convention, because one of the big things I would love to do is like, well, if you like even win like a couple of questions, like you get a prize, or
yeah,
we could do a meet and greet followed up with it, so like it's a two-parter type of thing. I feel like VTubing, while it's still in its niche and still in its like baby phase, it's slowly getting more acceptable
hmm,
to like see this sort of thing. I mean, like we're doing a podcast with one right now. Like that's not that's crazy, to think about.
yeah.
I mean,
I've always
eh,
wanted to actually like
yeah,
interview more more podcasters. I've always wanted to interview like more VTubers. And just because I don't think it's something I could ever do because of the cost.
yeah.
But also it's just something that it's fascinating.
Hmm.
I always want to kind of like speak with other VTubers and kind of understand like what made them want to do it, what trials and tribulations did they go through in order to achieve it. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, no, it's been an excellent conversation to have with you. I think
Oh yeah,
I would like to talk about like horror games, but I
yeah.
feel like we're also coming up on time. But
Oh
yeah,
no, I mean, we could talk about horror games. I mean, you have as long as you want me here, so like,
yeah,
up to
no
you.
worries.
But if
Well,
you gotta go, you gotta go.
what got you interested in horror games?
Oh boy, horror games. Ricky, what are you doing? He's looking at me like, oh, what do I do? He's trying to get something.
Oh
Ricky, go
no.
bye bye. Go bye bye.
Oh no,
You
the
gotta go bye
papa.
bye. Ricky, go out. Go bye bye.
Go bye bye.
No. No, no. Let me put a blanket over something. He's trying to grab it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Stop that. Don't do that.
Yeah, poor Ricky.
Poor Ricky's trying to grab something. All right, sorry about that. Horror games. So I got into them. This is gonna be really funny. I got into horror games because I downloaded a bunch of horror mods on Minecraft when I was a kid,
Okay. What
and
What was there, like, a fascination? Were you just trying to scare yourself? Like
It was I watched a bunch of videos about Herobrine, and I was like, "Oh, that's not real." And then I downloaded a cracked version. I've downloaded a version of Minecraft that had it
yeah.
in it, and I was like, "Haha, this is not real." And then it jump scared the shit out of me, and I was like, I screamed and turned my computer off, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to play Minecraft anymore." um, but I got into that where there was like a lot of older games have this like level of uncanniness
Mhm.
where like I'll give you some context of why like horror doesn't really bother me all that much anymore. Well, Herobrine scared me, but like when I was a kid, my first video game was Earthbound Mother 2 on a Super Famicom.
Right.
I played Mother 2 all the way in Japanese on a black and white TV with no sound.
The
My
optimal
family
experience, I'm sure.
my family was a hardcore Christian, and they were like, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. My grandparents were like, "Yeah, colored TV is evil. Like we don't like that." So
Alright.
often they would watch a lot of like shows in black and white exclusively.
Okay.
They would also not watch the news and all that other stuff. They just don't care for that sort of thing. But like they were kind of scary and
Right.
racist.
Yeah.
But eventually they updated to a colored TV, and they were like, I hate the remote, I hate this, the sound's too loud, I hate all these things. I'm like, okay, oh lovely, oh, great, that's fun.
Alright, cool.
And then my grandfather got stuck on watching news, and that's all he watched. But um back to that, I played the ending of Mother 2, and I don't think anything is more terrifying than looking at Gygus in black and white with no sound. I think that is actually genuine nightmare fuel. And I don't think anything has ever topped that in terms of like fear, because when I played that I was like 12 years old.
Yeah. I'm like,
And
I can't even recreate I have a CRT back there, but I unless I mess it up, I can't just do monochrome.
yeah, so like I think something about that like really like it didn't like trigger me, but it like triggered something in me that's like, oh wow, I'm never scared of anything anymore. And like,
I'm just immune now.
yeah, like because like the next game that I played after that was like Silent Hill, and I was like, oh, I like this. This is cool. Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's like flying creatures that you could shoot at, and this guy sounds really silly, and the voice acting's terrible, and I love it. And I played like a lot of like different horror. I mean, horror mods I think is what I played the most out of, because I have destroyed Minecraft multiple times. But Silent Hill is a big series that I've played into. Resident Evil I love. I forgot there was this other game that I recently, I think it's called Scorn, where it was like I think the weapon is like flesh and like everything is just flesh. I
Okay.
forget what it was. Um the Until Dawn I've played.
Oh yeah.
But retro games like have this really uncanny feeling, and I think like if I like Crow Country like really kind
Yeah.
of started to make me feel a little irked, because it's just that low poly, like you can't really make out all the details, and your brain tricks you into thinking that there's something there and other stuff, and that kind of does freak me out. The uncanny valleyness of like low poly models really freak me out. Because like the more hyper realistic it is, the less scared I get. Like so like Resident Evil like Village, like, oh, the part where like the big booba lady like rips my arm off. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Haha. I'm just gonna put that back in. I just saw that and I was like, that's hilarious. But then I play Silent Hill 1 with the low poly stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's creepy. I don't like it. I don't like how it moves and contorts. Why?
I I single-handedly think that the arm reattachment the first time you play through Resident Evil Village and he just goes like, "Okay, plop, sprinkles some first
Sprinkle
aid on
some
it," and you're just
water.
like, "What the hell? What do you mean you can use" and he's not bothered?
Yeah, no, I saw that and I started laughing like
It's
hysterically. I
too
was like,
funny.
this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Anyways,
Yeah.
but like I play like I think the reason why like modern horror games don't like get me all that much is because I think of RE4, like the original RE4. I don't think of new RE4.
Mhm.
And the RE4 original like has so much campy like commentary
Yeah.
and like the one line that they didn't put in remake that makes me upset is your right hand comes off, and I'm like, why is that line not in remake? That's hilarious. Why did they leave that out?
I forgot that that line wasn't in the remake.
There's a lot of lines that are not in remake. They just completely mess it up. Like,
They try to make it I mean, Bingo's still in there, but, like, yeah, a lot of them are gone.
but the delivery is not as good
No, yeah.
on Bingo.
A little too serious.
They also removed the line where the guy was like, "Ah, I see. The princess is filled with ballistics," and I'm like, "What do you mean by that? What does that mean?" My favorite clip of that is Vinny Vinesauce. Somebody corrupted that game to where he says that line, and then she starts flashing like white every so often, and then it just the house explodes, and I was like, "That's hilarious."
Wasn't lying, it's full of ballistics.
Yeah, she's filled with ballistics. But horror games, I've gotten like basically desensitized to them, but I think a lot of them are really funny. So
Yeah.
because the amount of like ridiculousness that some of them come from, like the horror slasher movies, like she gets stuck in a bathroom, guys like stabbing the knife through the bathroom, like, okay, but there's a window, like just climb out the window. What are you doing? She's like, no, I can't do that. That's not part of the movie script. I'm gonna hide in the shower.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
gonna,
I was like, "Which movie
I'm
were we
gonna
talking
put
about?"
uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the shower and put the curtains over. The killer will never find me
Never
there.
find me
And then
there.
the killer just starts stabbing the shower curtain. I'm like,
Interesting, I guess, yeah. I wonder if The Shining is just referencing Psycho in that, because she
a
does
little
get
bit,
out the window, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any, like, previous horror interests? Like, did you watch horror movies first, or did you, like, kinda reverse engineer this? Like, you got interested in horror games, and then you just had, like, an
I
interest in horror as a
I
genre?
watched a lot of like slasher films, and then I watched like, well, funny thing I say this is I never watched Friday the 13th until like 2 weeks ago,
I
and
still haven't seen it.
I was very impressed with it because like the camera angles and everything are so. Oh no, I didn't, not Friday the 13th. Sorry, Halloween.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
watched Halloween for the first time 2 weeks ago, and I was very impressed with how amateur the camera angles felt, but yet they still gave me that sense of like slight unease.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they did that. And I think it's maybe because of analog horror on YouTube that I've been watching so much, or just the fact that that movie just is really, really good at setting up those scenes, even though it's old and it kind of sucks. It was pretty good, like overall. Like I had a great time watching it, but I think for horror movies, no, I was never really interested into it. I did watch a lot of Final Destination as a kid,
Oh,
because
okay.
because like one of my friends' parents was like really into it, and when I would come over, she would either be watching Final Destination, Criminal Minds, or like some other like, investigation kind of horror
Oh,
thing,
yeah. Those
or
were really big in the 2000s.
American Horror Story. And I had this head canon in my head. I was just like, man, I think your mom's gonna like kill somebody or something. Like she's like, oh, did you know? Like she'll say like random facts, like, did you know that you can like melt somebody's body in hydrochloric acid and like it would just be gone and nobody would have evidence of a body missing? And I'm like,
I do now?
I, why are you telling this to a 12-year-old? What the
Is
fuck?
this a
Are you
confession?
okay? Are you okay? Like she's like, oh yeah, and you could also put like a little bit of bleach in somebody's soup and no one will find out. I'm like,
There's an FDA acceptable amount of bleach you can put in soup?
I guess I don't know. Like she started to scare me, and I'm like, okay, all right. Maybe she was just doing it on purpose just to be silly, but like at the same time, I'm just like, I don't think you should be telling this to a 12-year-old. That's a little weird.
Well, now you know.
Now you know.
That's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what's been interesting is trying to I always feel like horror is an interest in horror is always seems like an accident. I always like read
Mm-hmm.
or hear about people's like origin stories as to how they became a horror fan. 9 times out of 10, it's because like, "Oh, I just happened to be walking downstairs and I saw this like baffling thing on the TV that my parents were watching." And that just like now I just am big
I'm
into
just
horror
traumatized, and now I'm into
forever.
horror.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like,
like Silent Hill trauma.
it's the thing is, I wouldn't even say I'm into it. I just think that there's like a lot of interest behind, because one of the big things I like to think about, especially for Silent Hill, is like the perspective and like takeaway that everybody has from those games. Because one of the things that I think is very interesting, especially for Silent Hill 2, is that every person I've talked to, they all have different like feelings about James.
Yeah.
Like the one scene with Angela where Angela like accuses James of like cheating on his wife or something like that, and he goes, I would never. I've had three different experiences from three different people that go, oh yes, no, he absolutely cheated, he's a horrible person, I hate James, I hate James. And then one of them goes, oh, I feel so bad for him, like look at James, like he's suffering, like poor guy, you know, this is terrible, he would never do that. And then one other person goes, I don't even care about James anymore, like whatever happens to him, like I don't want to play this anymore. And I'm like, that's three different perspectives from the same cutscene. And I'm just like, it's because of the voice acting delivery too, because he is just so monotone. Like you can't tell if he has any emotion, which is
Yeah.
very hard to do. So
It's interesting because like it sort of reinforces the mystery. Like you
yeah.
know why James is there, and I think the mystery becomes bigger to the player in my opinion. I
Mhm.
think I stopped caring about James. He's just a vehicle for me to find out what happened.
Yep.
And
He
you're
is
just
he is just
trying to get
a
through this.
he is just a character that you are encompassing just to find out what the story is at this
Yep.
point. Like
Yep.
at some like at the beginning, at some level, you care a little bit. Like you
Yeah.
kind of feel like, okay, well, this is really bad. Like this, all these horrible things are just happening to this man. But then, as you talk more to Eddie and Angela, and just like all the little mystery things that you read, and you're like, wow, this is really messed up. Like I don't really care what's happening to him anymore. Like all this stuff is just too much. And then
Yeah.
you find out what he did to his wife, and you're like,
Oh.
oh.
Yeah, no, I guess I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's also a very interesting game to replay in almost a Sixth
Yep.
Sense like fashion when you already
Mhm.
know and you can kind of
Yeah.
reevaluate. Because somebody was just like, Silent Hill is a physical location, but it's also like this
Mhm.
concept of a test, and
Oh yeah.
everyone who shows up in Silent Hill is being tested. And basically,
Right.
if you live, you pass, and if you die, you clearly didn't pass.
Right.
And so like everyone that goes through their own thing and are interacting with James, I think just adds to like the confusion and the mystery around it, which I think then kind of makes me go like, I just want to know what happened, like what's
Yeah.
going on. Um, so yeah, it becomes a little bit less about James, and I think
And more
maybe
about the
too, it's
journey.
yeah,
Yeah.
it to the game's benefit really, because
Mhm.
like Silent
Mhm.
Hill is the main character of Silent Hill, clearly. Um, but yeah, no, I what I'd like to do, I'd like to have you
Mhm.
back on someday. Maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily next month, but like
Yeah.
I'll have you back on because there's plenty to talk about.
Oh
And
yeah. No, I have lots and lots of stuff to talk about. I'm always down. Absolutely.
absolutely, so
I'm honored that you're even considering a second episode. Like I'm like, oh god, okay,
well
sure.
look, yeah, I think what's been excellent, it's just
Mhm.
you know this is probably one of the longer episodes that I've done. And
Hmm.
it's mostly just because I think the more that I'm hearing from you, the more I'm like, I can just easily come up with either follow-up questions or
Mhm.
like it just makes me think about it. So
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you actually I'll say this, this is the second time that somebody has asked to be on the show because I was like, dude, it's October. I need to look for horror creators. Like, I
Mhm.
gotta look for somebody.
Mhm.
and you actually like reached out to me. And you're like, I don't, I play horror games,
Mhm.
and I was just like, shit, yeah, why
I
not?
mean, we had just recently collabed with each other, and I think we had a pretty good time, to my
Yeah,
knowledge. So I was like, why not? Like Laughing Boy needs somebody for this one thing. I could pitch in. Yeah, why not?
yeah. Well, I'm
Sure.
glad you did.
Yeah.
Because I definitely learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Chad, I hope you enjoyed this too. I'm going to bring this to a close for this month's episode. But I just
Sure.
want to say thanks again for being
No,
here
thank
tonight.
you. Thank
Um,
you.
let us know where we can find you. Like, where are you
Uh
at? What are you doing?
Well, so you can find me at Orange is Orange literally everywhere. I have that tag, thankfully, on all of my social media. Um, Horror month is kind of coming to a close, so Pupperween is going to be over pretty soon. Which means that I'm going to be moving into Pokeathon, which is the November month mod month. We're going to be playing Generation 1 through 6, which is quite a bit. But then we're gonna follow that up with the Christmas debut, which I'm excited for. We got a new
Ooh,
Christmas outfit coming in as well, so we got quite a bit of a lot of stuff going on. I'm always all over the place coming up with events, so I'm free usually most of the time, but like I'm kind of doing whatever comes to mind. But yeah, you can find me those. I usually stream on Twitch, but I also dual stream on YouTube. So if you don't want to be on Twitch and you want to watch it at YouTube, you can. Um, I always upload the VODs and everything, so everything's like stored. And
awesome.
I got a lot of stuff coming up for next year. Oh my god, I'm doing another direct. I did a Borange direct at the beginning of this year, so I'm doing another one this year. I always like do like a Nintendo Direct thing for the beginning of the year, so it like tells you like, oh, here's all the stuff we're doing this year.
Oh, nice.
So like
I
I
like
always
that.
plan everything up and give you like, oh, here are all the events, here's when they're starting, here's when all these sorts of things, what to look out for, what to set up the calendar for, because it can change, but for the most part it doesn't. So
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And hey, as for me, remember if you want to help support this the podcast here, you can always just like the video.
Yep.
It's very easy to do. I think the button's like right there. It's a little thumbs up. I
You
haven't
can
been on
like,
YouTube
comment,
in
and subscribe. Those things all
yes,
help the algorithm.
yes, it all does. It all
hmm
gives. I think you can hype now.
Yep.
That's
You
apparently
can
a thing.
hype.
I have no clue how that works.
Basically, if somebody donates some money or uses their hype points, they can put your video temporarily into the algorithm, which is very, very cool. Um,
Temporarily.
yeah, just
Hell
for a
yeah.
little bit. It just pushes it forward to like other people who potentially might watch your video. But
Nice.
reminder to always join if you can. If it always helps the creator out,
Yeah.
gives them some more, funding for these sorts of projects.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks. I didn't have to just read that whole parrot now. But hey, look, you can catch this podcast live on YouTube with video, with exclusive Q&A sessions at the start of each stream if you tune in early. But look, if you want to help financially support the podcast, you can do so just by becoming a member. It's just $3 a month,
Mhm.
which earns you some cool emotes. It earns you a special role in the Discord that you can use to help kind of like steer the direction of the channel, like help me figure out who we can have on next for the podcast, what video ideas that we can do further on.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's great. And also before you go, just you can leave us a comment down below. That would be fantastic. That earns us some excellent algorithmic points. Let us know. Are you interested in horror games? What got you interested in them? Are you not interested in horror games? That's great. Either
Mhm.
way.
Let me know what you had for breakfast today.
Yeah, let
That's a
us know
good
what you had for
question.
breakfast in the comments. If you can remember. I can't
Mhm.
remember myself. But listen, if you want to just listen to the audio version of this podcast, you can always find us on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I guess. If you still have that subscription at this point. Or really wherever you get podcasts. It's pretty
Mhm.
much everywhere. But look, if you can leave us a rating, that'll help grow the podcast there too.
Mhm.
So we'd really appreciate that. Anyway, this has been a fantastic seventh episode of Good Luck Have Fun. The audio version of
Mhm.
this podcast was edited by Motion Dan. Popsky did the intro. Orange is Borange was our guest this month, and this is me, Laughing Boy, saying good night. Oh, the bedbugs bite. I gotta find. Here's the ending button. I found it.